once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I tell you what, man, I am so excited to get started again. The insanity fear loop continues. I wonder where that's coming from. Much love to all brothers and sisters. US 8, man, usually just like right on an early riser around here. I truly appreciate those of you who are mystery mastery as well. And you know what? It really is. It is an exciting day. Frank Monday, blessings to you, the Showtime, and Lala Blue. I looking forward to the stream. Enjoyed yesterday's panel. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I tell you what, I have been having a beautiful day. And I truly, that hope and desire is shared with all of you. Please share your gratitude in whatever ways you wish, but it feels good to do. It really does. Praise God and blessings to you, Andy. Glad to see everyone once again. And let me not overlook the fabulous Red 40. Thank you to all of you. There's some growth going on. There really is, Frank, and I can't take all the credit. This is just a bigger plan coming together, but I know I'm a part of it. I do know I'm a part of it. Samsonite, glad to see all of you are here. This topic today and the thumbnail, it was an idea I had a few days ago. In the black background, just a simple reminder from all of us, let brotherly love continue. Let it be with us, right, as we share some time together today. This idea, life mastery, becoming the master of you. Keep learning to be strong while remembering to be with gentleness and kindness. Tell you what, if that hasn't been a lesson and a challenge for me, right? Learning how to be strong at the same time, you got to learn how to be more gentle, or remember. You don't have to learn, you just got to remember. Take a breath, Jack. Be gentle, be kind. You don't need to snap and you don't need to lose your mind. Brothers and sisters, you do not. Life is about the freedoms of balance and progress, right? And without attention and care, your progress can easily lose balance and freedom, and it'll disappear into chaos. I suggest that's what's happening in the greater world we see. Thoughts and holy cow. I miss them on purpose and I forgive you. Thank you. Or banger comments. Yeah, let me not overlook them. It was kind of a stab at my friend Paulie, though. That's what I was thinking. That's why I read it. Are we going to loop and deny real questions and let Paul LARP as a real man again? Then I guess one of those is your banger comment, Sam Uplander. I don't know. Why do I bite? Why do I buy into these ideas, man? Hey, there you go. Austin Murphy, timing is perfect. The perfection is time. So be with time to be with perfection. And it just all works out, man. It's all works out. I went back, man. I do. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. And yes, I am. For those who don't know, I am Jack Talcott. What that means to you, that's, that's on you and me. But I know what I want me to be for you. I know what I want Jack Talcott to be. I know how it sounds, but I want to be like a reflection of goodness here in the world, right? This is actually a great question. Great idea. Maybe we can talk about how to process the fear war embeds in all of us. Fear. It's not just the war, it is the conflicts, right? Our world is filled with conflicts, and with the knowing of conflicts, our nervous system can create these tensions, and we'll just feel this anxiousness and unsettledness all the time. I've lived that way, and I've had it easy. That's something I've learned about me. God's been good to me, but I paid attention. The fear that conflict and war embeds in all of us, the fears we're facing is likely the fear of pain, of loss, of death. But what are those? What is pain or loss or death? Sure, they hurt, maybe, right? There's experiences, but they're parts of a possibility, right? Infinite possibilities are available. This is what I've been learning. The key is to focus away from the object of fear in order to see, what are you not noticing? What is that fear capturing your attention? What is that distracting you away from? Most often, it could be a way to avoid the fear. It could be a way to actually see the fear differently, to realize, oh, this is nothing. This is just illogical foolishness I imagined in my head. That's what a lot of the fears are. But we live in a world where it's recorded biblically, and I've heard other people explain some of these ideas maybe a little more clearly than me. But the idea of archetypes, egregores, right? These mind patterns, they're not physical entities, but they certainly serve a purpose, either a purpose towards life and the greater good, or these identities and ideas, they bring us towards death, destruction, separation, division, right? All sorts of evil can come up. It's all mind thoughts. It's all ideas. That's what we are. We're ideas manifested into form. And then we have ideas, and then we bring those into form. And it's all just this big continuation of thoughts and ideas and energy and consumption. And it's just perfect. It's complicated. Life, right? Life can be complicated, but there's a simplicity and an ease that comes with love, right? And love in this world, it's known through life. Life is how we discover love. Life might be how we grow love, share love, right? Discover and nurture. That's what all that life is, and love is the same thing. So we are living at a time right now. That question, I shouldn't really overlook it, right? This swords to plowshares. I believe this is why we're alive, Frank. That prophecy, right? Many of the religions, they turn to this blood sacrifice, and they're just anxious to see the Antichrist, because then maybe the Christ will come. But let's not look for the Antichrist, because the Antichrist was here. The spirit of the Antichrist was here before Jesus was here. I mean, that's why the Lord sent. That's why God sent Jesus to the world, was to bring the light. Do I think he would own an AR if he was here today? I do not. No. I've enjoyed shooting guns though. I mean, it's fun. Target practice and stuff like that, and the power and the repercussions, percussion, whatever it is. Um, Target practice and shooting stuff. It's fun to be a human. Humans have developed all sorts of toys and tricks, weapons, right? But let's come back to some of these notes I had today. There were some interesting ideas, but back to where I was going. What if wars as we know it here on earth, right? Between the nations, between the religions, between the corporations, between the neighbors, between whatever. What if the wars are just energetic disturbances from beyond? What if the wars are not man's? What if they're not ours? I mean, what if we just have to stop the obedience? We got to stop the habits of fighting to realize, oh shit, we don't have to fight. Not anymore. Wouldn't that be cool? Because I think that's what's happened. See, I think God gave us everything we needed for peace on earth. But you know, that dollar and the shiny gold and the shiny silver, they got people going to war. You know, you just got to pay one another. That doesn't make sense. It's never made sense to me. If something's worthy of being done, it's worthy of being done, right? If it's not worthy of being done, then no amount of money is worth doing it, right? But that's not how the whole world thinks. Apparently, I might be a little bit different. I don't know. I don't know. I keep saying, no, I'm just the same, but I'm different. I am unique. But so this question, what if wars are energetic disturbances from beyond? You know, I'm convinced that the obedient, those who have been conditioned to obey the soldiers, the politicians, the bankers, and all of the enforcement mechanisms of bureaucracy and hierarchy, all of these chains of obedience can be broken through the small gift, the small effort of education, relearning. See, one who has learned how to obey can easily learn how to abide. Now, one who has learned how to be in control, they can also learn how to cooperate. Simple skills of language and skills of kindness, right? Remembering that we are all kindred spirits. We are all alike with one another. So let's be kind to one another. I mean, that's what love and loving relationships are all about. And I am a man who, you know, following the way of Jesus in my mind, in my heart, in my ways, the best that I can. I'm learning to be strong. I'm remembering to be gentle. I'm remembering to be with kindness. I mean, these things I'm sharing with you, they're things that I'm working on myself. That's why it's in my thoughts and in my mind. It's in my awareness of my experience. And I'm paying attention, brothers and sisters, and I hope you are too. Because if you can follow me conceptually with your mind, right? And you can hear what I'm saying, it's coming through into your heart, you're getting it, and you got it. And when you get it and you got it, and you're here with me, and we're a part of something bigger, which we are, well, then the realization starts really setting in that, holy shit, man, maybe I am. Maybe God has chosen me to be a part of something incredible for humanity. Maybe I am a part of this body of Christ that's eternally present, yet it's emerging and it's realizing and it's becoming more and more stronger here on earth. This body of Christ is the spirit of goodness, right? The spirit of goodness that overcomes all the fractures, all the diseases of lies and toxicity. It brings forth health and wellness, right? True nutrition for your spirit, for your soul. It's here. It's waiting for us all. I said it earlier on social media somewhere. There really is. There's a world of peace. There's a world of peace on earth where freedom is being shared, where prosperity is being shared, abundance is being shared, life and joy and health, education, wisdom. There's a world here on earth beyond wars, beyond selfishness, where we truly live as kings and queens together. Thank you, Joseph. Self-forgiveness, that's a tough one. It can be. Let me not reinforce a stereotype, okay? Because that's a bunch of nonsense. We've been taught a bunch of nonsense. Self-forgiveness is a glorious thing to do, okay? It gets easier with practice, but you don't have to build a long habit of screwing up just so you can practice self-forgiveness. But apparently that's something I had to do. Go screwing up over and over and over, punishing myself for never being good enough. Okay, so self-forgiveness, it's tied to our inner dialogue. And our inner dialogue is often masking some tension we've got in our subconscious, lodged away in our memories or in our nervous system. I mean, I've seen science. We're living at such an incredible time right now. Here, wisdom to offer on self-forgiveness. It's important, okay? It's critical and it's important, and self-forgiveness it's the path to your freedom. If you can forgive others, you can forgive you. If you can forgive you, you can forgive others. It's one and the same. And if you can't forgive you or others, how do you expect God to pour his forgiveness out? It's there. It's waiting. It's waiting for us to do what is right. So forgiveness is the path to bring miraculous transformation. I did not understand the importance. But in order to truly forgive, one must be truly honest, right? So that's the first step, is becoming honest. And then you're going to find more willingness to be compassionate with yourself, be honest with yourself, and then that helps you trust yourself. That was my path, at least. I hope that makes a little sense. Unslaved Truth. Tarek, thank you to you, my brother, for the contributions. Jack, I believe every human being has a reason, Jack. Even Satan has a reason. Amen. Snow and Snafu have reasons. Love and balance. We are all here for a good reason, right? Is by the reasoning of God and, multiple things. Actually, this brings me up to another observation today, man. The evidence, right? The evidence of God. I was so blind in my past. I was so disassociated from the physical and spiritual, just the reality of life. I was lost. Oh, the evidence of God and others is everywhere. I came to this observation, right? Because I was thinking about this idea earlier, right? Our lives, our memories, our experiences, that creates who you are, who I am. So our memories, our lives, our experiences, those are all based upon what we have seen, right? Mentally, physically, what we've seen and recognized, captured in the memory banks. But think about how much of the experience might have been unseen. The world shows us all, individually and collectively, the world shows us all far more than we can see because our minds, consciousness, the way we're designed, we're perfectly limited. It's it's God's glorious design, man. We need each other. That's the point. Humans need humans. We got to stop being so cruel to people. We got to stop treating people like things. You, I'm talking to you. Watch how you treat you. If you're anything like me, it's you probably got some work to do, right? Being a little more kind and gentle to yourself, being willing to say yes to the right nutrition, to the right exercise, the right choices, going to bed at the right time, right? Being disciplined and responsible so that a healthier version emerges. That's what I'm working on, man. Brother, I am speaking to myself, Sam Upalander, and you might be too. Do you find yourself do you find yourself amongst the most weak people on earth? I do not. I do not. This is what I mean by the dark energies. The dark energies, demonic or whatever you want to call it. It's this veil that keeps us from the light and the light that lets us see the one other, right? There is no other. There is only the one. You are the one. God chose to be where you are and who you are today. And there's a special reason for that. I'm just a memory created to remind you. Pretty sure about that. The world has become desensitized. Why? Because if people are not desensitized, then they won't do what's needed to exploit one another and create profits, right? Yeah. And the media, the distraction patterns. We see a hospital or a school get bombed, see the president involved in child trafficking. They forget in a week. Some even just keep the praises going on. Keep your head on a swivel, folks. We want to be wildly aware and praising God for all that comes forth. Let me welcome a brother and a guest back. Frank Monday, how are you, my friend?
Well, thank you, Jack. It's good to see you again.
You too, brother. Um, what are you feeling, man? I got a
I
lot.
just, I'm just saying hi. I wanted to comment on forgiveness because I'm glad you're a
Please.
forgiving guy. You know, all of us occasionally come up here and sometimes show our not so better side. And I felt like the other day, I wasn't in the right mind place, and I, it was last time I was up here with you and kind of got into it with King Stephen a little bit, and
That's all
in
right.
retros yeah, in retrospect, I was like, yeah, that was kind of lame. And I was writing an entire essay the other day. You had a really great show like 2 or 3 days ago. In fact, the past, shows have just been wonderful. But I wrote like an entire essay. I sat down for like an hour or so, and then my computer like rebooted and I lost the whole thing. And I was like, damn it. And I thought that's just the way things go. But I felt good that I got it, into writing anyway, even though I didn't get to say it to you or send it to you.
it was for me.
Yeah, 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 it was for you. It was in response to a
Oh,
question that the panel had brought up about why your numbers are so good and why so many people come here to see you. And I thought it's because we've all got something to learn. And one thing I've learned from you is that you do have a tendency to be forgiving to people, and I think that's important.
thank you. I appreciate that, man. And I mean, all of us are on these individual paths, and these individual paths, they can be challenging at times. I've I've paid attention, and I've gone through droughts, so I truly notice. I know what it feels like to be seen, right? When you're not feeling seen, and so I think I try to do that with others. And Frank, you're one of those who helps me to be seen, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Unslaved Truth, thank you again for the contributions. Jack, are you for or against channels that promote fear tactics like mainstream media? We have Venus, Snafu, Marfugal, in my opinion, pushing fear tactics. What are you doing, Tarek? Do you think you're doing fear tactics? Are you engaged in fear tactics, responding to fear tactics? And I don't mean to deflect from your question, pointed at you. I am, I actually, this is actually why I want to speak to some of these larger channels, including mainstream media, is that we can change the programming. People, people can change the programming. I've envisioned that. And there's actually, I've seen YouTube channels and there's other people doing it. Good news, right? What if our mainstream media was simply sharing news of the greatest discoveries, the greatest innovations, right? The catastrophes we avoided, the savings that we made. Wouldn't that change the energy of life around us? What do you think, Frank? You there?
Yeah, out here. I agree with you. I think that yeah, these calamities and catastrophes and all this sensationalism is what drives the news cycles. And it's kind of like why they're focusing on these strikes in Iran again, right? Yeah, it keeps us in a place of fear. It tends to. I think someone had asked the question a moment ago here on your show about, how do we process the fear? And you're right. If they did focus on things of goodness, then there would be more of that. I mean, what you what you look at is what you get. I guess it's the reticular activating system or whatever in the mind they say that when we tend to focus on things, we tend to see more of that, and there tends to be more of that. So I think there's something to that.
We're all going through this very special and unique time. This is what I know for sure. Tarek, thank you again, brother. I recognize you are just pointing channels out. Marfugal News is one. He caught my eye a long time ago. I actually appreciate his energy and what I saw of his intentions, but I know our friend Snafu has had issues, so that's a battle I don't want to. I never chose to get involved in, but you know, I do have the goal of getting on some of these bigger podcasts, streams. Valuetainment is one of them in my eyes recently. Um, the idea of rather than focusing on the destruction and the costs and the fear parts of the war, let's strategize solutions.
Yeah, your message is an important one, and getting it out there more would be great. I think I mentioned Mark Sargent in the past. I was over there, and they offered me a slot early this year but I didn't have time to follow up on it through emails and stuff. They want to talk about, the kind of things I'm interested in. Mm. But yeah, I haven't been able to reach out personally to anyone for a little while here. Just like when the semester restarts and stuff, and I get back into working, I kind of float away from the internet a little bit.
I got you. I understand. Um, where was this other notes? I was
It's been a lot of.
reminded.
Sorry,
No,
go ahead.
please go ahead. Please, Frank.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's been exciting to be watching and stuff and tuning in. Like, there's been a lot of good things happening here. I've seen a lot of growth. TK was on the last couple of days. And, he, like you said, he's right there. He's right at the edge. It's almost like you've got a men's health channel here. Folks come here for healing and a place to express to and fellowship. So it was good to see. He's right there at the edge, and then he jumps right back into it sometimes. So it can be a battle pushing forward within oneself, to overcome fear. It's good that you're offering that for folks, though.
Um, I'm sorry, Frank. I got distracted. Daisy, you really should hit the link, lady. A
Is that
bunch of
OG Daisy from before?
yeah, not not Sophia Daisy,
No, no,
but
no, no. Yeah, the house marm
the
type gal in the countryside.
yeah, the one who believes in the political divisions. That's the one. Oh, Daisy, Daisy, Daisy. Okay, Jeeps. I'm gonna. That was well timed. Okay, it was well timed. Here, copy this again down there. She says she's trying to join, but
Yeah, that focus on the political divide, that's a real thing, man. It serves its purpose in keeping us kind of at each other's throats, whether it be race, religion, color, creed, political party. That's one of the things that's always been refreshing about you is that you don't really tend to do that, right? And you kind of avoid those battlegrounds because of your message, of ending war and living without fear and stuff. It's a tough thing for people to overcome, because it makes it an easy way for them to delineate make a false dichotomy, put a bunch of people on the left, a bunch of people on the right, and then we can kind of take a side. And it's more nuanced than that.
well, actually, Frank, I had some abstract thoughts earlier today, right? I was thinking about a fractured mind versus a universal mind. And actually, the first thing I realized was I can't, perhaps the example will come up again, but I found a solution in one area of my life. And I was like, wow, that'll work here and here and here and here. It applies, right? This truth applies in so many different ways. And so recognizing that something simple, some simple answer bounces around in other directions, that's when I realize that's what I'm doing. I'm seeing the world through a greater perspective. My mind is not as limited as it was before. I'm not just focused on small ideas. So I used to live with a very fractured mind, this us versus them, right? It was dark and scary in there. Um, Zill, what is a universal mind? Universal mind is a recognition of unity, true unity, God's oneness, wholeness, the universality of all that is, recognizing that there is no me without you, and you are not you without me. not in my experience, at least. Um, so I don't know. It just means love without conditions.
Yeah, you're right. The mind, it does, it tends to organize itself along different lines, right? Like there's a skeptical mind, an intelligent mind, logical mind, and that universal mind is the one that encompasses that agape love that the Lord wanted us to express to the world, to ourselves and each other. Tapping into that, it's like you can meditation and self-hypnosis, and there's different ways to get to it, prayer and fasting and stuff. We know all of these tools, and you're right, there seems to be these universal methods where a certain process can answer many, many questions for us sometimes.
Yes. A chaotic mind, though, will not listen for answers, nor will it ask for the right questions. Um, I've existed in that dilemma, and I witness a lot of people. We live in a world of confusion, but in the past, fear, propaganda, right? Keeping the masses confused, keeping people deceived and miseducated. It's working. It's worked so well for this banking dynasty, right? The players involved in that, they know what they're doing. They're serving the dark side. We are here as men and women to become priestly, to become holy, right? To follow in the way of Yeshua, Jesus. His words and example in the story were they were left for us perfectly. I like that. Loop the love, not the mind. We could put it on a bumper sticker. We could merchandise it, baby. If I ever get my merchandising and printing going. But Frank, what if we are? What if it is true that we are this time, at this time, we are the ones who God is using to reveal the new kingdom? The world is dividing, it's being separated. There's a lot of people who are currently suffering, and we do not have to be so divided. Doesn't mean we have to be in the suffering with the victims, but we do need to connect. We need to stand in solidarity with the victims, right? But without the anger, without the sadness, without the whatever. It's time to stand together so there are no more victims and perpetrators. All it requires is unity and for people to be kind. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like, these people in positions of leadership, it's that, or so-called, they push and pull intentionally. It's like at one moment they're backing off and we're having a bit of respite, and then it seems like there's going to be some opportunity for messages like yours to come forward, and then they just double down, and then they back off again, and then they do something else, and it's like they're trying to send everybody in all different kinds of directions. Like you said a moment ago, they're stirring up that chaotic, agitated mind in people so that they don't have an opportunity for their nervous systems to reset and to bring about that balance and harmony that we so truly need. And so yeah, absolutely, we need that message and voice to go forward and just back them off for a while. I mean, Jesus Christ, have we not seen enough? Have we not endured enough? He who knows when enough is enough will always have enough. In the words of Lao Tzu.
Well,
When will we have enough, Jack?
I believe that's on us to determine. I mean, part of it is us, part of it is karma. I don't know when God's mercy will be found or when the strength and motivation will be found amongst the people, but I do know that tyrants, what facts and evidence have taught me, what things have shown me, bullies, tyrants, oppression, that only gets away with what it gets away with. You know, as soon as people start standing together, that shit gets ended. it's it's not put up. And so I was kind of thinking about this earlier because most people know I'm on a big kick. Let's end wars in this legal secrecy game. Um, I'm against secrets and lies. And I was thinking about this earlier today. It's so simple and obvious. A lie only has power with those hidden from the truth. Who is hidden from the truth? Many of us have been. That's the reality. People don't know what they have not yet learned. But we have a society that teaches people to limit what they learn. It's absolute backwards and absurd. The societal conditioning of here in America, it's literally created to farm programmed, unthinking, good, hardworking, consumers. It's been very effective. And it's not just in America. I understand China has done a lot of those things, programming their peoples, right?
Yeah, it's a global phenomena that I've seen, and having lived here, right, and I would say the U.S. has more of an opportunity than most places to at least find some way through the maze. And I think that's why, not to put it all on the backs of Americans, but it's kind of it's almost like if the folks, the great citizens of the United States don't get it together and kind of lead the banner forward to subvert, and I don't mean to be subversive, but to change the direction of government towards peace, then
Yep.
there aren't many other places that have that opportunity. So yeah, it's a tough thing.
This is what I kind of recognized a long time ago. I can imagine the see the different nations, they're just different personalities. And so far, America has grown up with some pretty bad behaviors, following the abusive patterns of parenting from the colonizers, right? So America has these patterns of imperialism and colonization, and it's turned us into this warring empire. And it's all make believe, but the reality is the rest of the world hasn't had the ability to defend itself properly against the covert and overt militarization of America. So if the world's going to be saved from the destruction of America, it's got to happen from the Americans. Hello. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to be a part of that because, Frank, this is what I see too. America, by its place, we have claimed our place wherever, right? Donald Trump's bought us a lot of influence and stuff, apparently. Um, we're perfectly poised to lead the rest of the world into righteous reformation, right? We are literally just a few agreements and choices away from world peace and complete reforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I've been drinking the Jack Talcottian Kool-Aid too much, but I've been feeling it and seeing it more and more. And maybe, it's just maybe because I've had a shift of focus and listening to you, but the opportunity really, really does seem to be there. And it seems the
Yeah.
nearer we get to the chaos, the more easily it could shift if a voice like yours could be heard.
Thank you, brother. Um, Here, Jeeps, actually, this is not entirely accurate. Jack thinks we're going to smoothly transition to a golden age without going through hell first. What I suggest, Jeeps, is that the separation has already been occurring. You and I are amongst the side of those who are blessed. Okay. We are in this great story where goodness wins, love wins. We are on this side of goodness. We are on this side of love. But if you look at the news, it's not all staged, guys. It is not all AI. Those are real children, real mothers, real fathers, real human beings crying out, praying for answers, praying for mercy, praying for relief. Hell is upon the world right now. We've become so blind.
Yeah, and people, they sometimes they say things without even really thinking it through. Like maybe it's a fear-based or an emotional response. But the other day on your show, maybe it was last week, you talked about impeccability in speech. And like you said a moment ago, like why say hurtful things to each other? It's the responsibilities in each and every individual as well. Like don't be flippant or wishy-washy and just wantonly like say negative things that you think may gain you some clout in a conversation because it can be hurtful. And injurious words lead to injurious actions, and injurious actions, when supported, we see them playing out on a global scale, like you say. You know, like to wantonly just attack or bomb another nation or strike another nation or to get involved in this tragic loss of human life and warfare. It's so backwards, and we really we have to step away from it somehow.
I think the only way through these problems is through them. We've got to confront these problems head on. And I see the problems of the world. Hey, yeah, the problems of the world are a result of people's arrogance, failure to understand or try to properly communicate with one another. In the greater picture, um, in the greater picture, the reality is world peace is just a few handshakes away because there's a few commanding officers, a few commanders in chief that said, yeah, send those troops into battle, send those high expense missiles downrange, right? Um, it's only a few people who choose to start a war. It's fucking millions who suffer from war. And all these people
Yeah,
that just don't get it.
yeah, you're absolutely right in that too. Right? Like you point out the fantasy and the illusion of the whole thing, the banking scam, the governmental scams, and it really is. And what's wrong with that? Why not give peace a chance again? Like the people cried out for 40, 50, 60, going on 70 years ago now, right? When we had a similar situation with I guess Vietnam, not maybe not similar, but it is. It really is. They're
Similar.
overcomplicating it. It
Yep.
is that simple. It is a few handshakes away.
Hmm. Austin Murphy. Why do you think the all powerful God won't step in and stop the evil God allowed? See, God allows it to be created. God's giving us. We have the opportunity in this lifetime to become heroes of the time. Or we can be the cowards. We can be the folks who sit in the back and eat the popcorn and drink the beer and just throw claims at each other. I think God's waiting for us to decide, when are you going to end each other's suffering? When are you going to stop treating each other like shit?
Yeah, that's right. And so many people take that stance. God created the evil, he brought it about. That's not what's going on here. It's the people involved and the other people, like you said, allowing it to happen. So it's up to us to make that choice. God's crying out just as much as the next guy for us to get on with it, and Beast, Mr.
I,
Beast, man, he big money man right there, huh?
he's signs of the times, really. Um,
Hold up.
the the
I was
the
reading his
world.
story just yesterday.
I haven't paid a lot of attention. What'd you catch from it, please?
Oh yeah, no, he started at 13 playing games on YouTube. Now he's the biggest YouTuber in the world or whatever, and he's worth like, I don't know, anywhere from $2 to $5 billion and makes 50 million a year. Seems like a voice like his might, be willing to listen to a peace idea. Hmm. Yeah, again,
That's
I don't
been
know
my
much about
hope.
him, but
I mean, it has been my hope. I feel my causes and my efforts, my goals are right, you know? And my hope has been to maybe cross paths or get the attention of some successful people, right? Because my expenses are actually very small. It does not cost much to feed me or to keep me going. Um, but I haven't replaced my income since my federal job and haven't found partners or investors yet in the visions that I have. But you know what? Hell, I'll talk to Mr. Beast. I got a lot of other people on my list, though, that I want to talk to. He seems like an interesting character. Maybe he's got a good heart, but he's sold out. He's found success and wealth and he's entertaining people instead of educating, in my opinion. But I'm also speaking blindly. I've not given him a fair chance. So I've only seen a few of his shows. It's been interesting. This is the times we're living in, man. This is the times we are living in. But Frank, if I'm right, and if we're real, right, if this is real life and this is really happening, and like the Iran and Iraq and Gaza and Libya and Lebanon and Sudan and Ukraine and Russia and all those wars that aren't right here where I am. If all that's real, brother, humanity is in for some amazing surprises because we're going to be celebrating so much here on earth when, yes, when we all just recognize we are living right now. And right now, today starts the future. So let's unite with love together. Let's unite with the truth together. So there's no more fights. When we find the truth, when we reconcile each of us with the truth, there's no disagreements anymore. There might be mysteries, there might be wonders, there might be questions. There's none of this arguments and fighting nonsense. And so if I'm right though, what by definition it can be possible. I'm not making any claims. The future will reveal whether I'm accurate or not, of course. But if it's possible that I'm prophetic. I'm prophesizing, right? I'm envisioning a future coming together where God reveals it all. How misguided mankind has been. I mean, we've got all the evidence that we need. It's all documented. What are we going to do? We just going to keep sitting back and waiting? I don't think that's what God intended for us to do.
yeah, and somehow we're right at the threshold of bringing the heavenly kingdom, maybe back to earth, whatever, how you're going to word it. But hey, keep fighting the good fight and blessings, Jack. I I'm going to run off into the abodes of the future, beloved. Thank you for having me up again. And yeah, keep doing your thing, man. There's going to be a way, there's going to be a path forward. Maybe a guy like Mr. Beast or Mark Sargent or whoever, but I've already seen it playing out. You know, I've been watching you, and I do have a bit of the prophetic eye, as it were, and I've seen it coming through in dreams and that great light shining on you, you know, and all of us rejoicing in that beloved day when we're going to have the peace and freedom from fear and slavery and all of those things. Merchcott, he was a great addition, man. He was really bringing the fire, and he's got a great message that I think a lot of people, if they learned, would have better success in the system and have greater freedom from slavery. So the pieces are aligning, you know, though they may be small. Don't overlook those little tools around you that are creeping up and being like, "Hey, Jack, give me a minute to help out somehow," because we got to help pull our part of the slack too. So thank you for that, Jack, and have a blessed day, man.
Much love, Frank. Really respect and appreciation to you. And yeah, Frank's always so optimistic, man. Good on him. Um, there's a lot of things coming together, as he mentioned. Our friend, he mentioned Mergecott. That was a reference to Paul Unslaved, also known as Proper Instruction Motivates People. It's an interesting and amazing opportunity for, temporary or whatever, for collaboration. And we've had some collaboration, he and I, over the last few days, and he was there when I began. That's for sure. He's been a big part of my story and my influence. And Frank's been around for a while too, part of this story. We are all a part of this story, and it's coming together. Dr. D had, without some conflict and modicum of struggle, it isn't life at all. Utopia literally means no place. As pathetic as it is, I like my place. I can respect that, Dr. D had. However, please do not let that perspective prevent you from accepting, realizing, or, kind of, I don't know, finding the ideas of better, greater, less conflict, less struggle, finding these things in different ways than the ways that they've been. It doesn't mean they go away. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. But what I am suggesting is together as we unite together, brothers and sisters, this world will totally transform. And let me swing back to this, Jeeps. The highest level where Jesus came from is neural network consciousness, or Godhead consciousness, i.e., the Godhead, the supreme mind, the divine originator. Yeah, whatever we want to call it, we're pointing at the same thing. The Trinity of consciousness, metabolic, connective tissue, and neural. I don't know if you had more or not, but when I was reading this, Jeeps, what I was considering is that's what I'm pointing at when I say universal mind. Okay, the highest level of mind, recognizing the unity and the connection between all things, past, present, future. There's a chain, a golden thread of energy and light and information that keeps all things true, connected. And in the highest mind is the universal mind. And in the universal mind, the truth you see has many different perspectives. One little piece can fit here and here and here. When an example, I don't know, hopefully this will make sense, but an example that came up for me of something that comes through repeatedly in different forms is yesterday we were talking about the circular patterns of life. The seasons are always continuing, the days continue. It seems to be circular. What's the term? The Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. But as Grace brought up, and my mind was thinking, it's more spiral. And there's a lot of evidence for the spiral qualities of time and energy and life. It appears to be circles, just going in the circles, looping over and over. But no, there's a distinction. There's a subtle difference in everything. And yet, maybe the difference makes no difference. Let me get to the point. Regarding the spiral and the connection, I noticed it in my massage, right? Getting into the shoulder blades, kind of massage, loosening. You can feel the fibers of muscles. They're just all twisted together, and it's just a bunch of them. And so all you got to do is just bring a little bit of pressure into the tightness, right? Bringing a little more focus and attention, bringing a little the observer energy and a little pressure, a slight little manipulation, and then it starts to unravel, right? Starts to unwind. And then that twisted fibers of muscles that were in there, they'll keep unwinding and keep unwinding. And then the next thing you know, that unwinding is gone. And you're like, holy shit, there was nothing ever there. There was nothing ever there except the tension that had been twisted up between the existing pieces. Well, if that's not a physical representation of relationships, right? We get all twisted and caught up in our emotions and our ideas, and all this stuff happens. And then when you get down to it and you start rubbing things out, kind of not in that way, but you apply a little attention and a little pressure. You bring forth the intention of release, and what do you know? All those binds, all those worries, all those conflicts, all those tensions, all those things that burden you down that you thought were so important, once they were set down, you realize nothing was. Nothing mattered. Doesn't matter at all. It just matters what you do. Hey, I hope you're talking about me, because I do feel I've got a good humor to me. I feel I've got a good energy. Hey, and you know what? When the release happens, it is holy, man. I tell you, this is why I show up in such a good mood often, because God has me so graced, so blessed. Unlike a lot of you, I don't have the family bugging me. I ain't got the boss or the career. I ain't got the social life, no dates to go on. I ain't got none of that stuff to interrupt me. All I got when I ain't got you here online, I just got me and God and life. And you know what? When I have found God in life and I brought me into the relationship with God in life, man, I started to feel good. Started to feel good inside. And then my muscles, my body, my mind, it all started feeling better. I'm like, whoa, I wonder if this is what Jesus was talking about. This is why he's saying, do those things. Do those things that he said: forgiveness and mercy and compassion and faith and love and trust and sacrifice and all those things that he said and showed. Do those things. Or don't. I mean, it's all up to you. You get to decide. I hope not. I've been talking for a while, but I wouldn't put it past me, man. Wouldn't put it past me. Holy cows, you brought me an interesting opportunity, an interesting question. I was just thinking, I'm all right with wrapping up early, especially when it's just me, but we do have a guest who just arrived, so let me explore that. Let's welcome back our friend Stephen. What's going on today, my friend?
Welcome back. Thank you, Jack. Hello, hello. Did you? Well, what's going on today is I am streaming, and I just covered a live. I'm doing a live stream, but I covered this conversation with a black man and two white men talking about race relations and slavery, and it's very interesting. My audience seemed to get a lot out of it. I thought it was really good. Did you grow up watching the show Welcome Back, Kotter, by any chance? When you said Welcome Back, it made me think of that show.
I did. I do remember that show a little bit. It's a guy, the Sweat Hogs or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And Vinnie Barbarino
Yeah, Vinny.
and
I like
Epstein. What was the guy's name? There was a little Jewish guy with a Jewish fro, and then the teacher was Mr. Cotter, and it was Mr. Cotter. Yeah, Mr. Cotter. I sometimes that show was on TV if I stayed at home for a sick day or something, I'd watch that. Anyways, welcome back. Welcome back. You're kind of like the Mr. Cotter of your show, in a way.
How so?
Well, he was the teacher. He was trying to run the room, and there were the Sweat Hogs, and they were a little bit unruly and pushed back against him. So you have guests on. You're kind of like Mr. Cotter. Mr. Cotter.
No, it's come up. The Cotter, right? Me. I am that. You called it, man.
Oh, you did that bit already. I didn't know that. Ah, shit, I missed it.
Hey, there's so many things happening. It's this life we're living, dude. It is
Did anybody ever do because sometimes your show and your channel are referred to as Talcottia, almost like it's a city or a country or something, a realm maybe. Has anyone done a bit with Talcottia contrasted with Wakanda? You know that movie with Wakanda? I think it was Black Panther.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I know OTW did some board games with different lands. There may have been something there. I don't know.
Where would Talcottia be is my question. If it was a place on Earth,
it would be a mindset, clearly. It wouldn't be a physical place. It would be a mindset. Holy cows, that's a biblical answer there too, actually. Because just like the Jews are always looking for Israel, it's not so much a physical geographic location. It's a metaphysical. It's a spiritual experience, maybe.
I like that. It's metaphysical. It's not a physical. It can't be contained in the physical material. It's metaphysical. Look who joined us.
Welcome back, brother. Good to see you.
Greetings, folks.
Talcott, hello.
How are you, Stephen?
I'm great. I love the metaphysical. I love that answer. Talcottia would not be a physical location. It's a mindset. It would be metaphysical.
Well, this is very replicating of the same idea with the United States, right? These state ofs are not actually the states. They're non-physical states of beingness. Some have argued. So that checks out, I think. It's an idea more than it is a physical location.
I never recognized that about the nation states, but that's true. It is. It's more of an idea than it is even the geography.
Well, on both sides, right? The original law, the spirit of the law that gave way to the Constitution is more of a state of beingness, an idea or a practice than it is a destination. As we know, right? I mean, the founders, some of them at least, did own slaves, apparently. So imagine a group of folks vying for equality and equity while also trading in the bodies and souls of men, right? That's not a new idea either. It seems to be a very old practice there, that trading in the bodies and souls of men and women. So it makes this place really what it is, Jack, right? That's what allows you to get the full experience of Earth Inc.
That's it.
Beautiful in its
Well,
ugliness.
back then, though, that was normal. That in their time, that wasn't seen as anything wrong with slavery. It was worldwide, and the founding fathers, like Jefferson, had some Negroes. I think he even might have even had children with some.
Hey, Steven, can I stop you?
Yeah, sure.
The I think the Negro thing is a little bit. I'm not so sure. I don't know. I'd have to check with the other aspect of me if that's appropriate. But can we really be honest with ourselves and each other? Do we really are we really expected to believe and expect others to believe that like there was a time where slavery was just like a regular thing, like making a cup of coffee? I'm pretty sure that it was always frowned upon by the
Oh,
more
it
conscious and
was
aware.
in their time. It was normal. It was worldwide slavery,
Right, it
and
still
I don't.
is. Most people are retarded, so they'll accept anything
Well,
and even promote it and pay for it. But that doesn't mean
sure.
that for the rest of the conscious and aware folks, they weren't
I
always.
don't own any though, Paul. So
Well, yeah, you
you're
gave yours
saying
up. There was a government payback program where you gave up your slaves and you got
I
funded. I
pay
get
Aunt
that.
Jemima as a servant, but she's not a slave. She is paid and she's free. She makes the best pancakes ever. She really
Here,
does.
if I can, it was never normal. It was normalized. And the thing is this discussion of slavery of the past, it's still here. It's just taken on a different term, right? It's more legalized and maybe less violent than it used to be in some ways. But yeah, dude, the majority are still slaves, still ruled, still obedient and frightened.
Slaves to the dollar and the petrodollar, and is that what you're
That's
getting at? That type
well,
of
Well,
slavery.
and the policy and the codes set by the corporatists, right? All the
There
Epstein
you go.
Island goers sitting around claiming to be lawmakers, writing up policy and code, and then everyone paying to be ruled with it for their safety, of course, right? I mean, that's
yeah.
ingenious. I'll never get over that. I could live 1,000
Right.
more
I know.
years and never get over how they mastered the art of getting you to choose your own enslavement and even fund it.
It's
That's
brilliant.
that's pimping, Mr. Talcott, to the next level, right?
Dude, it is. It's brilliant. You've got to you got to give it
Give it
up,
out.
right?
Evil
I mean,
genius. Would you call it evil genius? Maybe
it's
what they.
energetic forces of evil that are here to consume and destroy the lives and freedom of humanity. That's what it
Yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
evil.
Yeah, it is, and it is remarkable. They've been able to write thousands of codes and laws, millions maybe, must be
Right.
millions at this
I know.
point, and people
It's
have taken
absurd.
it. People celebrate and pay them to write more. It's hilarious in a way.
Yeah, I mean, Hard
It's
Hat's down there. He claims he hasn't paid taxes in over 15 years, but yet they'll tell me on all these panels, well, what are we supposed to do? You know, if we stop complying, they're going to do something to us. Many folks have stopped complying long ago, and the scary part is, I guess it doesn't happen all the time, but for many folks, not much has happened, right? So maybe they don't have the market on all the power here, right? Maybe they
Right.
just told us that to get us to believe that. Maybe the story is a little bit more
that's
complicated or interesting.
sorry, but I think
Right.
I'm thinking the same way as you on that at least. That it's an illusion of power. It's more like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. They want to scare you into complying, but they don't have the power that they want people to believe. So they scare you into paying your taxes, and it's more like that little man behind the curtain in Wizard of Oz. People are afraid, but
I'd suggest it's not so much they who scare us, it's the people around us, right? Because the slaves enforce the owner's rules. It's self-policing. That's what we've got. There would not be a billionaire class if the masses had not been conditioned to believe that selfishness is okay. I mean, it's kind of that crazy and simple. The whole game of authority, I used to believe in all of that bullshit. All of it
you
I used
did?
to believe in. All
Really?
of it. Huh?
You believed in all of the whole Monopoly game system.
That's part of my story, my testimony. I fell asleep. I was living subconsciously from the time I was 15 years old, which would have been what, 1988, until about 2018. I finally woke up. I mean, shit, I was part of the American dream. I voluntarily signed my name and went where I was told to become a part of the military industrial complex. I thought I was patriotic. I thought I was doing the right thing for America, right? I was a good old boy bullshit. I was a tool for destruction who luckily made it through alive.
And you paid your taxes when you were in the
I paid
military and
all my
at the post
taxes too.
office. You
Yeah.
paid everything that they told you to pay. What I'm interested in is in the 2018, your Great Awakening. What triggered that change in you? You said in 2018 you woke up. Was there a catalyst? What moment? What happened?
The Epstein family sent Jack a bill for the house extension that they were working on. Yeah,
The Epstein
money
family.
wasn't enough. They had to up it a little bit. It got a little out of hand, right? So we want to put a new wing on Little St. James Island. You're gonna have to fund that.
Damn. I was going to ask Jack if maybe aliens abducted him and probed him or something, or like what happened in 2018 for you to have this big awakening if you were just following the system.
Well, it was actually it was in December of 2017. And I can honestly say it was love. Love transformed me. I felt absent from love. The woman I thought I loved was leaving me, and I saw myself helpless there again, and I didn't want to break again. So I sought answers. I went online, YouTube of all places, but I was looking for questions and trying to find answers on how to love and let go, right? That was really what it was. And I was doing a guided meditation on letting go. And instead of just focusing on her, I actually saw myself letting go of the past, which included her and everything else. And that gave me this newfound freedom. And I sat there transformed instantaneously. I was changed, right? I sat there and I cried tears of just emotions, I guess, that had been built up or stopped up. I cried a bunch of hours. And then I tried figuring it out. What the fuck just happened? How can I help others with what just happened to me? And then my year 2018, that is by record, that's the year of my rebirth and my transformation. So I woke up, and the story is love transformed me.
And then the universe made way by removing all of Jack's responsibilities and family members, made way for his true life partner and merging experience, dare I say, and that of course is me.
Amen.
So this is proof that something bigger is going on here, something godly.
The true merger.
We have a guest in the back who thinks that they're under a different name, Golden Standard. It's actually Snafu Snaps. Okay, I'm gonna break it to you, but he's really on me. Like he's claiming again, it's a new day. He's exploiting your new day policy, right? Where you like it's a new day, you're loving in this moment. But I don't want to believe that once again today, even after 3 years. I want to follow this idea that any one of these days can be a potential opportunity for catalytic change. So he's bugging me. He says he needs some FaceTime with you. He wants to potentially do some life coaching. Are you into that? Are you open to that? Or are you sort of
actually, yeah, before the stream, I actually went and visited his stream for a little bit. He might even still be streaming. I'm not sure.
Isn't it amazing how well behaved he is over in his area? Yeah, he's almost coherent and consistent and conscionable. It's fascinating.
And he's entertaining. He's got decent timing. He's like,
Only I come to life
Snafu
coach.
Snaps is the opposite of
I
marketing and networking. He goes to his
listen,
channel, he's somewhat normal and can have a conversation and doesn't act out. He goes everywhere else and acts like the biggest
Jack.
douchebag asshole and makes everyone hate him. It makes no sense.
Okay, it's either you or Jack got to take the. Who's the fall guy here, Paul or you, Jack?
We're in a merged. Okay,
No,
see, we're not starting off well because we went over this. We've been over this. We're in a merged state, so there is no clear-cut distinction or division between us. Okay, unlike most likely you and many others here who are in a prideful, egoic state. Okay, so please let's try
There's
to.
Siamese twins.
because
They're
I
still
need one of you
attached.
two, because you were not going to let Steven, but since we're talking about Negroes and niggers and naggers,
Snafu, please. I know. See, I know now that you know now that that's inappropriate, and you're doing that anyway to try to test the waters here and be mischievous. Please refrain from that if possible. The N word, okay? And Gabriel doesn't like that. Gabriel gave me a stern talking to the other day about my usage of the N word and how it makes him and others feel. Okay, so please.
Okay.
Let's try to observe some decorum here.
So that's why I went to the registry of the blacks and I dropped the blacks registry link about the N-word to share with the community. And I feel since Gabriel gets his butt feelings hurt, that's why I went to the black registry to get this. It's in your backstage. This can educate y'all about the word. It's the actual title of the article is The Story of the N-word. So, and it's from the Black Registry.
Hey, Snafu.
I'm just saying.
Can I remind you that you came in here? You came in here under the guise of wanting some FaceTime interaction and life coaching.
I'm trying to life coach you all. That's why I put
Snafu, I'm also gonna turn your attention to today's topic. Okay, learn to be strong, but also remember to be gentle. That part.
Wait, is that today's topic?
Yes,
Learn to be strong.
And it's perfect because you need that, like so many other topics.
That's why I was strong by going to the black registry instead of going to some white guy writing an article.
And remember to be gentle. That's the part, Snafu. Please.
The gentle part is this article was written by the black registry people, not Snafu Snaps, not by some white guy, Orthodox guy. I feel I'm bringing value to
you brought it.
Steven's conversation here. Mr. Steven may be, you guys are dismissing.
Oh, dear Lord. I love you. I do.
Do you see it? It's in your backstage.
It's the kind of love where we almost want to splay you over those olden days torture racks and just kind of put you through enough pain to where you finally are delivered into the Holy Spirit shortly before your death, right? There's a communing event that happens between the torture and the sweet release of death. Yeah. You kind of start to get it, It's emerging event.
There really is. It's part of that dark night of the soul. And I wonder if that's
I'm trying to be strong and gentle here. And
I think I know where you're going, Jack. He's our torture rack, like so many others here. See, and that's why we get that impulsion. That's a great word that I like. Almost a combination of impulse and compulsion. But we get that impulsion because that's the perspective that he lives from. He is our torture rack. He's part of the reason why we've merged into almost a full-on Kadian state, right? Because of all of his darkness and tests and challenges and projections and accusations. That lives within all of us. I mean, we've seen it with me and many others here.
The energetic offset that he brings, his energy compared to mine, I know for a fact it has caught several people's attention. And I can honestly give him credit for getting a few people to stick around and to wonder what the fuck is up with this Jack Talcott guy.
I clicked on the link that he shared. It is kind of interesting. I opened that in a tab. It is kind of interesting, Snafu. The link that he shared in the backstage is what I'm referring to the viewers.
Thank you. He took off, it looks like. He was talking about the escalations of Iran and such going on. But There was something else. Sorry, I got totally discombobulated there.
He came to life coach you on the N word, I think.
He wants to be. He's much like me. He wants to be seen. He wants to be of value. He wants to help others. Much like me, he can do a better job of communicating what his hopes and desires are. I honestly think that's our biggest problem between all of us guys. There's many variables involved, right? Everyone energetically and karmically, we're all on our own individual path. I realize there's difference in understandings between every single person, and the words you choose are going to bring in variables, right? But the reality is we're living at a time right now where I swear we have everything we need. Everything. It's like everything is lined up for the world to totally transform, for all of us to change how we live together.
It's glorious.
It is.
It's happening now. I mean, it's unstoppable. Some might say that you can't stop it at this point. There's no turning back.
We don't want it to turn back. That's the thing.
I agree. I don't want to
I
turn
have another
back.
great idea inspired from audience member Austin Murphy. Can you pull their, it said if Jack and Paul had a baby? That one? I have a great
Yeah.
idea. Social experiment. We can make this happen, Austin Murphy. Since we have AI Jack and AI Paul, why don't we just create AI baby and let Paul and Jack have an hour each stream with the AI baby? And in a month or so, we the audience question the AI baby and see what the fuck it tells us.
Snafu, I think
opposite
that
high.
you're overlooking or forgetting that the cosmic stork, metaphorically, has already dropped off a baby for Jack and I. As a matter of fact,
Wow. You got
a list of them.
well, I know, but
Whole,
I'm just saying we can monitor the situation in the digital experience with digital optics here.
and of course, I was speaking about you.
That's you, Pogo. You know Pogo.
Dude, yeah, you are this child that's been brought
No,
forth.
I came because I'm tired of hearing Gabe cry like a little baby. I came and brought the black registry of the N-word to come educate, and you just didn't want to play the game.
We saw that.
So I figured the AI baby between you and if you and Paul spent an hour with the AI baby, then gave us the keys to the AI baby a month later, are you afraid of what the AI baby might tell us?
Dude, no, you're so lost. You're so lost.
I don't know.
Because let's be realistic, right? If there was an intelligence that was nurtured by Paul and I just briefly,
yes,
it would have so much more knowledge than to waste any time.
Why don't you put this to the test? Why don't you allow us to
but Jack, see, that's the irony. It may have so much more knowledge, but still have the willingness, right? Out of some misplaced sense of guilt or overlooking some twisted attachment or obligation.
I'm thinking this is a social experiment that you and Paul need to come to terms with and let us, the audience, control. We create the AI.
Really is? It's that the combination of Jack and I would just be so loving and centered that it couldn't overlook you and what you need, even if it has to tolerate what you want or what you say you want, right? In order to get to the greater communion.
It wouldn't surprise me if that AI baby said you two are predators.
Oh, that's not.
Well, then let's do it.
Predators.
Social experiment
Snafu. Hold on,
within
please.
the community.
I know. You've
You
said that.
call cupcake to the
Please
AI
don't
baby for an
talk
hour,
over
30
me
minutes.
and the other aspect of me, please.
Every time you go live, just cupcake to this AI for 30 minutes.
Snafu.
You and Jack and the baby.
Oh, Jeeps.
I
Sorry.
really want
You
to
know it's a
change.
genius. You know it's a genius idea.
I
Snafu.
really want to change the topic with you, Snafu.
Okay.
Would Lou Bass be a baby of Jack and Paul, or what would
Yeah,
Lou
I think
Bass
he's
be?
referring to many of us. When Paul said that, Lou Bass would be on
I
that list,
miss
I think.
I missed Gabe's crying. Well, when was that? Was that today on the show, or
Every day he cries.
he's crying about the N-word? He let me come on as Black Jesus, and we were both saying the N-word. We
Now, do
enjoyed
you
it.
see what you just did, Snafu? In your usual agent of chaos-like way, you've now opened the door for Steven to
Conversation.
become an agent
Open the
of
door for
chaos. When he was
conversation.
just previously in the conversation with us, he was loving.
No,
He
man, I'm
was
here for
focused,
peace.
intentional.
He's
Now
in
we're
the
on to
conversation.
Lou Bass and this
I don't
person
want to
and
be an
that
agent of
person.
chaos.
Okay, well,
Talking
okay,
about
let's ask you
this.
then. When you said
Talking
you have
about that.
children without the AI
Paul.
baby, who did you mean, Paul? When he's going off your statements.
Snafu, this
Snafu.
is a revelation of one of the aspects and reasons why you're constantly in a state of clutching and suffering, because you have more wants and desires than you know what to do with, right? It just keeps you
Ooh.
spinning in circles without progress, right? So I would encourage
Ah.
you, as Mr. Talcott and I have explored many times, surrender to that which is, right?
Yeah.
Peace and love are available within you, or are they?
Peace.
Are they not? And if they're not, then we have something else that we need to talk about, not Lubac.
That's
The Buddha
exactly
said that
right. It's
the Buddha said all suffering derives from desiring things. So if you give up your desiring everything, you won't be
That's-
suffering. I think.
Didn't both you guys want kids again?
Yes.
The Lord
This
is my
perfect
shepherd, I
opportunity.
shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures, Snafu. You remember that, right? The word is wanton.
Jesus wept. You
It's-
remember that one?
Yep. And
Yeah, I'm weeping.
I can see him weeping now.
Baby
No.
Jesus is weeping
Oh,
right now
baby
watching the
No.
show.
We are here. We are here for the right reasons. We're getting closer. I know in my
you
heart.
are afraid to do a social experiment that would
Snafu.
educate all of us about you and Paul.
Snafu.
It's not a maybe
Please.
baby at this point. It's an AI
Please
baby.
pause.
Okay. Just trying to bring some social experimentation to your, I guess, guru optic that
You've
we can
said
get a better
that.
understanding of.
You've said that. I've heard you. Maybe I can do a better job of recognizing what I've heard from you. Would that be
Did
helpful?
Paul merge? Is Paul the okay? You tell me. Is Paul the good or bad side of you?
We're
Don't answer for
complementary
him. Don't answer
blending,
for him, Paul.
Snafu. This is what you do. Your mind is so simplified and not in sort of a coherent way that you have to divide into this and that every time. You have to descend
You
into
guys are just
duality.
merged.
You
Like
can't
gooey
see the
merged.
oneness that is I, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Like
complementary
Ace
blending of
Advisor. I
Snafu,
get
it's a
it.
complementary blending of light and dark aspects.
Yep.
Much like
Okay.
the creation is,
So,
right?
okay, so he's not looking at you. I wanted to know if he thought, though. I get what you're
No.
saying, and I knew that was going to be your response.
Why?
Paul. I just was curious if Jack, before you
Why?
answered for him, was going to say, yeah, he's
Dude.
my worst side and I'm his good side, kind of like you did with me.
Can you please just relax?
I
Okay?
yield.
I love that. I love that about you. Not just yield, but I want you to really just rest.
And I want
Okay?
you two to think about my proposal.
How will I know when you're resting?
When Gabe
What?
weeps.
Yeah, when Gabe weeps. Is he crying?
He said Jesus weeps. Gabe weeps.
Well, I guess that means I'm chill because Gabe's weeping all the fucking time. So I'm cool, Jack. Let's go. We're good. We're good. We're good.
It doesn't
Yeah, I
have
definitely want to clutch. Now that would make you godly If you got me a
Snafu, you're
clutch, Jack,
clutching again as you're begging for a clutch. I told
yeah,
you,
both
when you
you guys
surrender to
converge
the
your function.
unclutching, that's when your clutch will appear. It's paradoxical, Snafu. What you are chasing eludes you. Right? What you recognize and surrender to, that which is, brings about the prerequisite conditions to receive what you're chasing, right? You get to receive what you receive. It's all there for you.
Look. I'm going in debt because I'm getting a credit card. Because I've had a few people help me, but nothing substantial to get to the clutch fund. But if you guys want to merge your funds, just like you merged your gooiness together, Snafu Snaps 007 or Cash App Snafu Snaps, PayPal.
What's the 007, dare I ask? I know he got me, Jack. Just real quick. You fashion yourself our Pierce Brosnan here? You're
cheat nor steal, rip Eddie Guerrero. But remember when I said I'm broke bad for life because I'm an individual and I'm not culted to you or Jack or OTW or Lou Bass or Steven.
You are culted to your dysfunction.
Steven doesn't do the cult
It's something that you can't go anywhere without, right? So it's not about me or Jack or anyone else. You're missing the point consistently.
Maybe I am. Okay, maybe I'm missing the point.
Can I give him the scripture again, Jack Foley?
Please.
He needs it because he's another Bible thumper like Tommy and many others. Yep. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness. In his name's sake, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, Snafu, for you are with me. The rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and loving kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. See, loving kindness, Snafu. That's the part that these Christians like yourself oftentimes overlook.
Kindness. That's the part. Yeah.
It is. Well, and earlier,
what does 2 Corinthians say, though, Jack?
Here, please, let's swing back to that. And I'm sorry to do that, but I want to tie back to something Stephen was asking about earlier about slavery, right? Losing our freedom. It's said in the scripture too, one who sins is a slave to sin. It's the absolute truth. But when we're led...
Why can't you bring the Negro registry up? They wrote a whole article about this subject, and I brought you a source.
I don't care. I was talking about something different.
A slave to sin. Does that mean, Jack, that they're addicted to sinning, or how are they a slave to sin?
Well, think about it. When we do sin, when we're selfish, cruel, we cheat, we lie, we do whatever. Well, then we're
born sinners. Do you believe that? Because you told me different.
We find guilt within us, and once a lie is there, it must be repeated. Thank you. And that ties back to something earlier. So obvious. A lie only has power with those who are hidden from the truth.
Snafu, it's almost like you come here wanting to be thrown out because you know that if you start cutting, if you start cutting everyone off, that eventually you're going to get thrown out, and then you get to play the victim, right? Even though you're the perpetrator who keeps interrupting, cutting people off, projecting, accusing. It's typical of your behavior, right? But can we not do that?
So you think he's knowingly trying to get
it's subconscious. There are no mistakes in this life, right? There's only awareness and the lack thereof, but everything is running based on a program, whether it's local or non-local, it would seem to me. Can't prove it, but I can stack evidence so high it can't be ignored, right? This broadcast is evidence of that, by the way, right? All of these broadcasts and these events are evidence of that.
They are.
Do you guys hear
the blasphemy sometimes gets to me, and so I just was curious. I wanted to ask Jack, since he was making this religious statement, if he believes we were born sinners. That's all I wanted to know is what Jack, because I mean, I know what biblically it says and what it means, but I want to know, does Jack believe we're born sinners?
We are born into a world that is operated
Were
and
you born a sinner?
no, babies are born pure.
Imagine that, Jack. A world so culted out that they think it's holy to project their guilt and shame onto a newborn, innocent being who is as close to perfect from the
Right.
source as you could get, right?
Yeah.
He wants to
Yeah.
ask you about your proclivities rather than understand how much he's revealed his own and what the implications are. They wonder why they're so enslaved in this place. His
Right.
thoughts and feelings and practices like his and others.
No, it's fair. It's fair. He answered the question
I
for those
answered it.
who question Jack when he says he's a Christian, and this is why Tommy and me and many others.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, Phil, you're not born into sin. If you're born into sin, it's because this place, by the time everybody quote unquote grows up or grows down, becomes like you and many others here. That's being born into sin or a sinful experience. But the being itself is not part of that creation till it becomes the age of reason, right?
Romans
Absolutely.
3:23, Romans 6:23, John.
Not interested in your Roman fascistic propaganda, Snafu. Thank you. One day they're going to write a Bible and you're going to quote Washington, D.C. 1020, right? And I'm going to go, hey, I really don't care about Washington, D.C. 1020 and whoever the scribes were who wrote it up.
Maybe Washington, D.C. 9/11.
Let's
So is
here.
the Paul Jack
Welcome to
Bible?
Landry. Here. How you
Precisely.
doing?
Landry.
Can we rename this channel to the Jack and Paul Bible?
I'm doing good, Jack. Thank you for asking me that. Appreciate you, Stephen. I smell really bad. I just want to let you know firsthand. I smell terrible. Thank you.
You don't have to tell me.
Okay. Well, I just
thank
wanted
you.
to know if you maybe forgot. You know.
Thank you for sharing.
You're
I
welcome.
can't forget. I hear somebody's smoke alarm chirping. Is that you, El Perro? I heard a couple chirps.
No, it is not me.
Heart monitor. He's
Who is that?
over the edge. We're going to bring him back. Go ahead, Wizard.
Maybe it's Landry.
Well, yes. I smell so bad it's making the smoke alarm go off.
There's a chirp.
Well, in the scriptures, since this is the Paul and Jack Bible session, Psalms 51:5 speaks about that sin and being born in sin. What this is referencing, according to my interpretation, is the desolate children that are born into this world of mothers who are whores, hookers, or whatnot. They were born in sin, and it specifically says, "Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me." This is what being born in sin is about. Your mother is the sinner. She bore you in sin because she did not bear children in wedlock with a husband. That's it.
Okay.
We are not born sinners. We are born in sin if we do not have that fatherly lineage, that keeping thine house in order.
There's a lot of interpretations. The rules really are, we're here to love. Truly, that's what the gospel was about. That's what everything is really about, is about love. Paul, you are destroying Snafu, the predator liar.
We appreciate the contribution. I don't even need to say we because I am that am. But with that said, I am not destroying Snafu. Snafu is destroying Snafu. I am revealing to Snafu the cause of his self-destruction. See, there's two very different perspectives.
Yep. And one is with honesty and care. What's being offered?
One is with the lack of. See how it's always a reflection, right?
You guys are, and I agree with Wizard in a sense, but it really comes down to you were the flesh.
Snafu, you're indoctrinated. Again, the fact that you go to doctrine every time you want to speak rather than from the heart, which God gave you, proves your indoctrination, right? You lean on it. You go, what about doctrine? You're indoctrinated. So the same being, the same consciousness that came to give the same message 2,000 years ago was told the same things you're telling myself and Jack and others now. At his time, he was a new ager who was going above and beyond the indoctrination by speaking from the heart that God gave him. the Holy Spirit, right, is another way of looking at that. So you're literally carrying out the same will of your earthly masters, living through the deception, right? This
His
is
God is
part
not
of
the
the
same God as
indoctrination.
mine.
We don't need you and Tommy and other folks to come here every single day in your indoctrination to tell us that we can't live how we want to live and that we can't explain our experience how we wish to explain it. See, it's not very Christian of you, some might say.
Particularly enforcing
Nobody's
your free
saying
will
you
is the
can't like
will
put
of
your new age shit out.
Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. See, you indoctrinated folks are hypocritical as well because you don't follow your own doctrine. If Jack and I and Wizard and Steven and everyone else here are doing new age guru fucktardism, well, God's going to deal with us and show us different. So let whoever's function and purpose be their function and purpose, including you. And I don't think that's this. You're quite frankly not that great at it. Like
Yeah,
some
I
of the
urge,
other Christians who fashion yourself to be great speakers and intellects, you're oftentimes not so much. Go ahead, Wizard.
yeah, I urge everybody to not just read Psalms 64, but to study it. This is telling us how to be diplomatic, how to use our language in an honest and loving way. Despite the words that might hurt other people, it's still said in a loving manner. You don't use bitter words, such as calling people pedos and all of this. You don't do that. You point out the simplicities of the error in the in and not the person themselves. It's always an ad hoc character attack that destroys the foundation of anything you're trying to say.
It's bearing false witness. That's against his doctrine. Go ahead, Mr. Talcott. You got something?
It doesn't have to be this way. That's the frustrating part. If you just chill out, not just snafu, but that's who was in my head right there. If we can just chill out and make sure we understand what's before us, what are we discussing, what are we trying to resolve, we can put it behind a lot of these disagreements.
I'm hoping.
Go ahead.
I'm hoping one day I'll be able to put down the mustache and quit calling people Hitler's willing executioners and bitch ass slaves. But until that happens, I have to learn my best to keep that to myself from now on.
Put down the mustache, Keith.
I don't wanna be that guy like Snafu with the bitter words where everybody calls me the angry man, the angry old man. That is not who I am in real life, guys. So this is why it hits home with me when I see Snafu, Tommy, and all these other people. When I first come up on these panels, I saw it as a type of hazing. I understand now it's not. It's a part of their natural behavior. That's the way they actually behave. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. This is why it's so easy for me to just dismiss what they're saying and doing, because I know it's not true. Vengeance be mine, as Paul said. God will take care. God will separate that wheat from chaff.
Well, this is along those lines, that line that I brought up a few times today. I was thinking about it because it's through Snafu and many others. I faced a lot of accusations, right? And downright lies have been cast at me. But the reality is I don't have to defend from lies. I really don't have to answer these interrogations or the prosecutions because I've committed no injustice. There is no injured party before me. And a lie only has power with those hidden from the truth. So Snafu is moved, right, with these lies he's got in his head, not just about me, but about others. He keeps moving his mouth, moving his being. These lies are moving with him. And maybe it's not entirely a lie, but these ideas are moving him.
Do you think Snafu made up the lies, or did he get told from someone else, or what's the origin of them?
It's a result of confusion. That's all I can.
Oh, I know what I was gonna ask Keith when he said about the vengeance, the Lord. Keith, do you believe the short bus? Do you believe that uh, that God is a vengeful God? Is that your view?
No, he's a discerning God. It's kind of like that. Let fools be fools. He's going to let them do it. That's the free will part. He's going to let them do what they want. And according again to my interpretation of the scriptures, there's two deaths. So when we die physically, material, there's a stage of judgment where now your heart is weighed and you either go down or up. I don't know, but that's what I hear. I'm hoping that no matter what it ends up being, that the people that see that story afterwards, the ones that will read my story at the end, they'll see that the beginning was nothing like the ending, and the ending makes it all.
Huh.
We are these amazing stories that are being revealed. And the Bible and history are full of incredible, unbelievable stories. There's also a lot of mundane, pretty ordinary stories, a lot of sad stories, a lot of, I don't know. That's what we are. We're stories. I've said this before. That's all we are. We're stories who learn from stories, who tell each other stories, and then at the end of the day, we dream up stories, and then we live more stories again tomorrow if we're lucky.
We're in the never-ending story.
We are. It's all offered with love, though. That's what I'm convinced of. Because there's a lot of mysteries and complications and interpretations on the Bible and words. Truly, though, it's all love. Love is the beginning. Love is the source. The source behind all the resources is love. Love is the source. In the end, it will all be returned back to love. And so we're just like in this, I don't know, etheric flow of light and sound. We're just coming together temporarily to disappear again at some point.
It's all photons and frequencies is basically what we are and what we return to in the end. So,
And consciousness. That's the
yes,
big one.
yes, and consciousness. I almost forgot consciousness because there's so many unconscious beings at times that we're around. But
I think we can
yeah,
address this. This is something that's rather cliche at this point. We've kind of been over it in various aspects, different ways. I think the theme is still the same. You can only hope, but wanting bitter words to end against pedos tells a different ending. I think that bitter words toward anybody and anything is revealing what you're choosing to experience, right? So one would have to ask why other people choosing to harm themselves and others would lead you to willfully, voluntarily choose to harm yourself by living in a bitter and resentful state, right? Because if you're saying those words, then you're feeling that feeling and having that experience. You're essentially poisoning yourself while claiming that you're pursuing righteousness, right? So being bitter and resentful doesn't actually change the fact that certain things exist here and have always existed here. It just poisons your body politic so you can experience more here, right? It's a trap.
That's beautiful you said that. I heard this pointed out earlier today. The goal for us is to not turn a blind eye to the victims and to the suffering in this world. We want to stand in solidarity. I want to stand in solidarity with the victims. However, not with anger, right? I'm kind of done with the angry part, hopefully. But
yeah, and not with victimhood either. Stand
right,
with them
that
without
too.
anger. Yeah, and not with victimhood.
Thank you.
We got to get away from the victim mindset, I think.
Yeah, it's the black and white thinking in a way. It's this or thatism, right? Like deciding to not destroy my quality of life doesn't equate to me supporting something that I'm not involved in, right? Just means I'm not willing to ruin my quality of life to try to fight against something verbally or metaphysically when supposedly we're all having it revealed to us that we can't actually do anything beyond a certain point. That's for whoever, whatever runs this place, one way or the other, on the lowest or the highest level. So,
I think that is the truth, man. This one jumped out at me too. There's powers beyond us that are moving everything. And the truth makes you mad often before it sets you free. I know
Do
I
they
had
mean
that.
Well, do they mean mad as in crazy or mad as in angry?
Angry.
Angry. Oh,
And
okay.
you may feel a little crazy once you recognize the truth you believed is not as solid as you thought, right? I've had that happen to me a few times. And then you got to settle into the ugly accusations, to the ugly truth, whatever it is. It'll piss you off before it sets you free. But this is kind of where I was thinking earlier, too. These things, these angers, these triggers, these signs of weakness and vulnerability that we find. The trick is to recognize that, right? See the trigger, see the fear, see the pain, whatever, but then notice what you're not seeing. That's the path to develop your mind. What am I not seeing? Because what you're not seeing in the midst of a chaos, you may not be seeing the solution. You may not seeing the escape route or the golden ring.
so see, Jack, this is perfect because now he's continuing to type paragraphs and now he's condemning me as guilty before actually having any offense, right? I don't know if you want to address this. If you don't want to address this, I just think there's some good
Who's
ideas
guilty?
here. There's a good experience. Joe Make Art. He's
Yeah.
someone who I believe also sends me paragraphs of emails.
Okay.
So there's a lot of folks. We're going through that period. This week I had about 3 folks who send me paragraphs and paragraphs of emails that at times I don't respond to, have come out publicly to bash me and tell me how bad I am and how my audience is a bunch of retards. So and again, there's more there, right? If you want to explore it, there's obviously something at the core of your beingness that you need to address. And I think that's the purpose of meeting here, right? When innocence is non-consensually taken, which in most cases it is, let words be bitter, let wars continue, let all suffer, and the strongest and righteous will survive, right? So you could argue that's for everybody, as we just talked about before, born into this world. If you want to remain a victim, right? All of our innocence was taken or interfered with non-consensually by virtue of what this place is and who runs it, right? So are we going to remain bitter, angry victims for the rest of our life, lashing out and projecting that all wars and suffering should continue? Do you think that that's beneficial for yourself and everyone else? Do you think that's healthy? Or should we maybe potentially try to move beyond it, even if we're not moving beyond it? Does that make sense? So then there we go. We follow up with this, Jack, and then I'll kick it over to you. No bitter words and actions against those that hurt the innocent. You are guilty. So because I won't choose to be a part of the cult of self-destruction and self-sabotage and live in a bitter, angry, resentful rage, I am now guilty of the offenses that you're bitter and angry and rageful about, right? That is a fallacy.
Well, they call us them, saying we're the ones that hurt the innocent. We're the ones that support these people. We don't support any of it. We're just up here having a conversation. And your delusion of your victimhood, trying to come on somebody else's panel to validate your victimness and get some kind of white knighting validity points as a hero is not going to work. It's just not going to work the way you attack people. You want a good message that you see the suffering, you want to do something about the suffering, then attack those that need to be attacked. You don't attack the quote innocent. We've done
Attack the
nothing to that.
demons. Attack the demons.
Well, no, what he's laying the claim that since we fail to have, in his view, since we fail to show bitter words and actions against those that hurt the innocent, we must be guilty. And so if we are guilty, then in his mind, he is the righteous one. And so,
Right.
Joe, make art live.
Is that Joe Cool?
No,
Joe?
I
Okay.
It's
And
another
therein lies
Joe.
the hypocrisy, because you're another person who thumps the Bible but has no problem bearing false witness and making false claims. The end times is most mundane time, Paul. So find peace in your pedo panel members and hope they ain't discovered in the end. Well, I got news for you, Joe Make Art. See, the plot twist here is everybody's guilty under your doctrine and under potentially the laws of nature to an extent, if not now at one time, right? And as your scripture points out, there is no lesser or greater sin. There is only sin. So you, like I and everyone else here, will not be separate from the judgment, and you will not run game on God that you were not a part of the problem, at least at one point, till we had the solution revealed and practice it, right? And I think that's what we're attempting to do here. So don't fool yourself. Don't kid yourself. You're a part of it as well.
Absolutely, because it goes on in those same scriptures that these people want to thump, just as much as I thump. See, I'm not a Christian, but I thump those scriptures because that's what you people try to use against us. So let's remind you of Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and thee shall rise up against anyone that places judgment against me. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and the righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. See, we're not supposed to be judging each other. Judgment is his, again, according to those scriptures. And that's all you people want to do is place, like Paul says, bearing false witness by placing false judgments. That's the problem.
Yeah, we live in a world where it's group focus of condemnation and division. It's truly back to the earlier complaint. What he's failing to recognize is the innocence of here, right? Because we're not talking about defending the abusers, not in the slightest. So it's a false narrative of what's happening here being twisted so the individual can feel more righteous. We got to break these patterns, man. Hey, another guest showing up. Late in the stage again. Welcome, Powder Dusty. How have you been?
I've been good. How have you been? I can see you looking a little tired. I figured I'd come up and try to shovel some coal back in your choo-choo.
What, in the caboose of his choo-choo? What did you say?
Right in. With both ends.
Right in the, oh, man. Oh.
Keep it going. Keep it going. I get you. No,
Shovel it in there.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I started the stream today not knowing where exactly it would go. I've got a few ideas, but this lesson, the idea and the topic seems to be something that's helpful for all of us to consider. Just the basic, learning to be strong, remembering to be gentle, to be with kindness. I think we can all.
Not a lot to argue with there.
No, there's not. And that's what I mean. If you really break it down and you listen to the words I'm saying, there's not as many things to argue with me about as you might think.
There's a lot of shit to argue with you about. There's a lot.
There's not as much as you think, I promise.
Mostly just your communism.
He's here offering disagreements, Jack. I think he's in his imagination. He's here to offer some disagreements.
I know.
Can we define communism? I don't know if you're wanting to entertain this. It's obvious that Taylor wants to find a disagreement. It's his favorite pastime.
Found one.
and then play his perspective on that disagreement. So, I mean, we can indulge him here. Can you define communism, please? Because oftentimes people use words in these venues without a succinct and collaborative definition and understanding.
I would define it as a collectivist, centralized economy.
So we already have that. I don't know if you noticed. See, I knew where you were going to go, right? It didn't matter where you went. There was about 3 to 5 options. And no matter which road you went down, I was going to reveal to you that we're already there. That's you. See, we're going to make this very easy and quick. So you're already in a collectivized, centralized economy that is manipulated, that is backed by nothing, and you don't have any private property legally, technically, based on the fact that you pay tribute to use your own property and you don't have an actual title to it.
You don't think these things are my property?
I'm talking about the chief philosophical ideas that come about.
So what centralized planning office
owning land, owning property,
pizza right before sitting down here,
owning land, owning property, and not having to pay the king or queen in order to use it and benefit from it? That's what I'm talking about, and I believe that you know that. So let's not obfuscate.
So we actually do own our property, though. You have legal
title to it. You don't have a loyal title. You have legal title to it. You don't have a loyal title. You are essentially a trustee. You are not the owner, nor are you the beneficiary.
You are the owner, in fact.
If you have to pay tribute to the state in order to use your own property, then the state has the superior interest in it.
Is with property tax.
Again, you made the statement, a centralized
problem with that?
Are you denying we're in a centralized, collectivized? Are you denying we're in a centralized, collectivized economic and political state? Are you really going to deny that in front of everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, great. You've revealed that you're foolish, ignorant, and arrogant, and that you have no position at any debate table because you don't make any sense.
Well, which centralized institution decided what type of pizza I would order?
That's
again, that's not economic. That's barter and trade. You're talking about issued currency.
Barter and trade is a type of economics.
The prevailing economic system here, Mister. I'm going to muddy the waters and try to act like I'm right while you're failing miserably at the facts. We happen to know that the prevailing instruments here used are legal tender, right? By and large, the economy of these corporations you call countries are run on backless paper and promissory notes.
Correct.
Fiat issued by a private Federal Reserve.
It's not actually backless.
That is centralized. Well, it's backed by the Army? Tokenization of man and woman, which is essentially the slavery that was spoken about in the Bible, right? Trading
toilet paper.
No, it's not.
Of men. So that is the religion
it's usury.
Is Mammon and Molech, right? It's usury as
slavery spoken of in the
pointing out. So again, your first premise, horribly wrong, just couldn't be more off the mark.
Which premise was that?
Light up a cigarette and get your heart right.
Be specific. Which premise was wrong?
The laughable idea that this economy and the world economy is not to some degree or large degree or completely collectivized and centralized. It absolutely is.
I don't think
by and large,
what a centralized economy is, Paul.
I don't think you're trying to have an honest conversation.
He's not.
Yeah, it's called the IMF, and you know damn well what it is.
He can't have an honest conversation.
Do you know what a centralized economy is? Anybody on this panel know what a centralized economy is?
No, it's not about being right.
I'm
losing have a centralized dollar known as the US dollar.
I'm losing interest in these conversations. It seems clear. If all we're going to do is argue, then guess what? The fucking slaves lose.
And argue badly at that, At least make
I'm sick of being on the losing side, right? Because this fiat banking system, the centralized planning that's been made, rolled out around the world agenda, Heritage Foundation, Agenda 25, and then 2025, we got Agenda 2030, all these things. You don't think there's any centralized planning in the economics?
Of course there's. How stupid are you? I never said there's no centralized planning.
Okay.
Did I ever say that?
You said there was no.
That's the thing, Jack. You know as well as I do.
And this and
is
this.
Not a centralized economy.
Okay.
Did you call him stupid?
And I'm tired of the juvenile arguments is what it is.
Yeah.
And he's not stupid. I don't.
He's not stupid. He's ignorant and arrogant. That's what makes it more insulting to everyone's intelligence.
But he knows what a centralized economy is, Paul.
You've outsmarted yourself, dude.
You're a genius, Taylor. If only I and others would have been able to come to the level of intelligence you are, we'd probably be way more successful in ourselves and in our lives. Yeah. We'd be better in probably all ways. Is that what you needed here today? Was it as good for you as it was for us?
No, he wants to defend the ways of the world for some reason. He's such a
we are in the world.
Yeah, because Babylon owns his heart. That's why he's screaming, "Why am I free?" for years, right?
What owns your heart
about me and all the rest of it?
What owns your heart?
Care, true care, what Jack would call love.
True care, true complaint.
Absolutely.
You sit around and you complain and you complain and you complain. You don't own real estate. You're not harmed by property tax.
If we're going to do the non-position thing, and by the way, I have keys here now. I'm sure you'll be excited to know. So if we're going to do the competition thing about who sits around and complains more and isn't active in the world in any way or doing something, that's definitely you. So you're not doing a great job on this idea either, right? Every idea you're going to go to, you're going to get outplayed and outclassed with the facts, because you are a liar and an ignorant, arrogant deceiver and game player, and I have true care, and the first part of that is truth.
And
you don't have shit except for keys. You don't have a house. You don't have a car. Your girl.
That's also you. So you rent a house, according to you. You don't own property and land. And why are we going to make this a competition between you and I that you can't win? And you know it, and I know it.
I've been winning.
Also, imagine being in your 40s and approaching 50 and still referring to the complimentary sex as your girl. It's time to grow up. Okay.
For years.
Time to grow up, Taylor.
You guys
who are you this week? Wait, who are you this week? Flow State, Powder Dusty. Who are you other than Taylor this week?
One of those.
LARPing online.
I'll answer to
pretending that you're Andrew Wilson's cousin and failing miserably at that as well.
I am Andrew Wilson's cousin.
Where is this going? I don't know why. It's I respect you for this because you have moxie, right? To continually for years try to come up against me, but you know where it's always going to go. So like at some point you make an executive decision to not fuck yourself continually.
Paul, you're a loser. You've lost.
I get it. That's the projection because it makes you feel something, right? Okay. We're not interested in your need and desire and projection here today. This is what you do with everyone everywhere. This is inferiority complex masquerading as superiority complex. And it's beyond embarrassing because in every metric, I got you licked.
Do you remember when
You didn't listen. In every metric, I got you licked. So let's put it to bed and let's get back to a centric point here.
You remember the challenge?
No, this is who and what you are and what you do, because now you're going to take it to a place of violence. Yes, I remember the challenge. And yes, I remember me in front of everybody swallowing my pride and backing away from it, because I just said what runs me is true care. Even if I have an animalistic side to me, I'm not going to sacrifice the rest of my life and my true care to roll around in the dirt with you so you can get off because you got some BDSM kink and want to roll around with men and try to prove yourself. Time to grow up. Taylor, if you want to prove yourself, the time was 5 minutes ago with the debate and the facts. You failed. Rolling around in the dirt with me is doubling down at your failure. Okay. So I'm not interested in challenges with you so you can make your bones and feel like a man.
Do you want me to remind you?
No, I want to get back to what we were doing and experiencing and witness. I want to get back to what we were doing and experiencing and witnessing before you and others like you came in to do what you always do.
Any metric at all.
Not interested. Okay, Jack, I'm going to take a step back. You can take control over this creature or try to reason with him because I'm not going to continue to do what he wants me to do, which is spin cycle and loop with him for his own distorted pleasure. He's sick. He's an addict. He needs help.
You enable each other. in
I don't
different
seek him out, and I don't seek to interact with him.
I didn't
He,
seek
he
you
can't say the
you
same.
when you cross paths, you both enable the disagreements and the conflicts to continue.
I didn't even address Paul.
I didn't address you either. I addressed the facts,
Yes,
and
you
so did Jack. You denied the original claim that this is a
So did Jack.
centralized, collectivized political and economic situation.
We got distracted in what works, right? The system keeps us distracted between arguing over politics, economics, and religions, right? And in the meantime, we're not making money. You know, there's those who are making
Paul's
money.
not.
Tell you what, let's look realistically in the scale of things, right? People like the billionaire class, conceptualize, try and spend some time, figure out $1 billion in relation to you, your life earnings, right? See where you stand up against some of these commonly known names of today and ask yourself, is this a land of equality? Really? Is this a land of freedom? Really? Are you sure? Because it sure as fuck doesn't seem very safe anymore.
Some wheels on those goalposts.
All we got to do, guys, is recognize that the world is ready to be changed. Individually, collectively, we can change everything we want. I've been working on me. And you know what? I was rude to you, Dusty.
I know.
I didn't mean to be. But you piss me off sometimes still. You really do.
Well, you're wrong about some things still. And Paul doesn't help when he gasses you up and fills you full of bad information. The fact of the matter is, this is not
You already bore false witness multiple times in this interaction, and you're just getting going, right? And you went to me and money, and you have this obsession with money and trying to prove yourself that you're a big boy and you're getting something
I've
over in your area.
I've already won that one. We're talking about economics.
We're not. It's not.
We're talking about economics,
it's an
not your
issue for
ego
you.
right now, Paul.
Actually, something you mentioned earlier, no one has won, right? The game ain't done, dude.
Right.
That's true. That's true. Maybe he'll quit being a loser in the second half of his life.
There you go again. You just did it again.
But we were having a bigger conversation than about Paul. We were talking about economics, not about
All right.
Paul.
And yeah, economics. The entire world has bought into this fiat currency scam. It's all make believe.
I agree with that.
Well, so why don't we change it?
Well, that is a different thing than we were just discussing. I agree with your assessment of the fiat system.
Okay.
But that is not communism. They're two different arguments.
Can you define it again?
No.
Here, tell you what, regardless of names, in the past, the communism and the capitalist examples, they've both consisted of an owning class, right? A ruling class and a subordinate class. That's not free, that's not fair, it's not right? We can change it. We can overcome the class systems when we stop looking at each other as though we're so different.
Okay.
Guys, who's a good example? Well, Dusty, you might be the best example I can think of right here and now, particularly with the mindset of economics. I see you're just like Donald Trump. You're just confused, looking in the wrong directions. But if
I
you
just
look,
need you to tell me what to do.
possibly. No, actually, it's not me. Where we're at, everyone needs encouragement to look beyond what they've seen, right? To look beyond what they've learned, to find more, learn more, discover different. Because I tell you what, we do not, the future I see of this world, no more secrecy, no more enabling the oppressors and the cruelty. If we work together with openness and fairness, what could we not? I mean, it doesn't make any sense why we would not go that direction.
Snafu, I'm going to ask you to not flash your camera in the back for like the 100th time in how many years. If you keep doing that, I'm going to have your move from the back. It's fucking distracting and obnoxious.
Thank you. I really like having you here, Paul. Peck Talcott, thank you.
Well, thank you for your recognition, Mr. Talcott.
Should we let Kem jump in? You're in the back for a bit.
Hey, yeah, I actually jumped on because I was listening to your earlier part about valuetainment, but I didn't want to sidetrack things because I got input on what you're talking about now too. Basically, what I'm doing now, the thing that I finally had an epiphany on, which I've heard a lot, but capitalism is the flip side of communism. They both lead to the same place, and it wasn't obvious maybe 20 years ago. I mean, maybe it was with monopolies, but nowadays, I mean, there's what, 3 companies that own almost all the food production, and you can go on and on with almost everything else. Electronics now, Samsung or Apple. So yeah, we're seeing the end result of that. I mean, I thought it was an edgy slogan when I was in business to buy or bury the competition, because that is what it is. Like, you're either going to get swallowed up or get bought out or go out of business. And seeing the end result of that now is, yeah, it's obvious. They're both meant to lead to the same place, which is control.
Right, because the core of it is the same spirit, right? And this goes kind of back to this Christian ethos, I guess, or mythos, that nothing born out of fear can lead to anything but corruption, right? So they're two sides of the same coin. One is fear that others have too much. One is fear that we don't have enough. Right. So anything born out of that fear is going to lead to that sort of deceiver based corruption, where the same action happens through a different means, right? It's like all roads lead to Rome kind of thing.
It's well observed. It is fear-based. Fear-based has us relying upon tools and instruments more than each other. Whether it's a weapon or a dollar, we rely on those things more than we trust in each other.
Yeah, seeking distractions or products that can alleviate it.
Yeah, it could be argued that the capitalism or the crony capitalism, because I don't see it as free trade, right? There's Americanism with like free market, free trade. But capitalism could be argued is more dangerous and insidious long term, because it promotes this idea that if you have enough pieces of paper, you don't need anybody else. You can get everything else that you would have gotten in a past life, right? For the majority of the world's experience, you could get it by just trading that tool, right? A lot of, I think, sort of communal endeavors are outsourced because of that, right? We can pay somebody else to do it a lot cheaper. So, over a long enough period of time, we wind up domesticated and unskilled because we're not co-creating and communing, right?
Part of that was with Ford's assembly line, breaking down some of the craft jobs into these menial things, and then you dumb people down to get them working for the dollar instead of for creating the craft, what they're doing.
But without other people, the dollar doesn't have any meaning at all. It actually necessitates others.
You're exactly
now, because it's not based on anything.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think there's a middle ground with a lot of this stuff, right? And oftentimes we miss the middle ground for the black or the white. I'm not going to go all the way and advocate for no currency or currency exchange. It just has to be actual currency that isn't demeaned or devalued.
Yeah, that's the thing that left me just a little shell shocked was I don't have any answer. Like I would have advocated for capitalism just because of the freedom that seems to come with it, and freedom of choice, which clearly is not freedom of. I mean, yeah, I mean, just look at the food is the best example of not having freedom of real choice, and so yeah, I mean, I really just for what it's worth, that's kind of what I was like. It's like, well, shit, it's not capitalism or communism, or if they're the same thing, basically. I mean, it really. I mean, it just keeps pushing me, like which we all said, but having small communities. I mean, that's where the most peace seems to be found when you know the people around you, and you just seems to be a little bit less turmoil if you have decent people that you vetted out a little bit. And, yeah.
Now,
Just
have you
doesn't seem
looked
like
for like local eggs or anything?
I mean, we have chickens here, but why? What's the point?
Well, I mean, I think the point that I would make
did.
to that, I think the point I would make to that is there is actually, if you look for the variety, it's there to be found, but you have to look for it. So I don't disagree. If you walk into a grocery store, 3 companies own everything in there, but you're still walking into the grocery store, and that's the point of decision making.
Oh, yeah, but it's just getting harder and harder. Like, I agree, you can find obscure things, but big business has shut down small farms too. I mean, all they see them as is competitors. And, that's the other thing, man. You have freedom to do almost any business you want till you get too big. And I guarantee, like, you get too big, you're going to get, either friendly or hostile. I mean, not even inspected, bought out, put out of business. Yeah, inspected. If you are, if they can't get you one way, they'll get you another. And and you hear this from the farmers nowadays, or the startup. I mean, dude, who's got 200 or 300 grand just for an agricultural tractor?
But
You
that's where
almost have to.
But that's where your local power in commodities comes from, is your neighbors, not necessarily farmers, but neighbors. The place I'm living at now, the neighbors have chickens. And so they trade chickens with a couple of their neighbors, or give eggs to a couple of their neighbors for small favors here and there. That's where your powerful economy comes from, is that personal barter and exchange you were talking about earlier. And people don't understand that. We have to take that back. We have to take that responsibility back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the fact that that's what brings the best life and, the best food you're going to get nowadays. But I guess I'm just kind of like, isn't it just kind of like hold on for the ride? Because these companies are going to keep merging. It's not like over, I mean, we are going to end up, and I mean, just between Flock and, I mean,
the reality is we don't know what's
yeah.
going to happen. We can see the road that we've been walking down and where it potentially goes, but none of us know completely what's going to happen.
Right. Like,
Jack, you want to interact with Snafu here? You got something else or what?
Can I just put a light on this darkness, Jack?
Jack has gone catatonic at this point.
He's
almost completely nonverbal. He's numbed.
Let Lou first, and then we'll see what Snafu's got.
Just to put a light on the darkness being spread right now, I'll just give you guys a little bit of understanding of what's happening. There's a very large movement that's been happening for several years, since before COVID, of people that are actually moving back to the land and starting to grow their own food again, learning how to can food, learning how to prepare food, learning how to raise animals, learning how to make gardens. It's a massive movement that no one's hearing about, but it's huge.
Speaking of which, Lou, when are you and others going to contact me so that we can work together more on the ground to do what you're talking about that we haven't
I don't even have your
right?
number. What are you talking about?
You have my email, Lou. You're too busy sending me pictures of Jews with curly hair and hats and black overcoats scurrying around the cities and telling me doomsday prophesizing. So that's part of the problem, is we're not creating as much in with what we know, right, and who we are as we could be. And that's why we're going to be doubly fucked, because we can see and we can know and intuit, and still we're not going deeper with the co-creation and the community as much as we could be, right? And guess what? It's out of fear. And how do I know that? Because I look into me. So yeah, again, we all have an opportunity here. Whether we want to take that or not is going to be up to us.
I agree 100%. But at the same time, I have to say that the first stage of becoming more self-sufficient is knowledge, and most people are not taking advantage of the knowledge that's available. People have the world's library of information.
I had to stop because I read the brows. I am a soothsayer brow reader, okay? And I could just feel that's the energy coming off those brows over there. And then it started welling up in my heart, right? So, Lou, let's get away from everyone else. The everyone elseism isn't working for us anymore, if it ever did.
Did I say that?
Knowledge.
Did I say everyone else?
Everyone else is not using knowledge they could to
Okay, if I said that, I didn't mean that. I just said that it would be better if people took advantage of the knowledge that they have in their back pocket today and learn.
Right. Let's stay in the now and let's apply that to ourselves and each other so we can get some work done here, instead of talking about this, talking about that, banana, this person, that person.
Well, I have the knowledge.
Lou, there's a lot for you to find.
Like what kind of knowledge, Lou? Do you have knowledge of, say, splicing various different fruit trees together into one tree, so you have one tree bearing multiple fruits, and being able to save the seeds therefrom?
I did that when I was 18.
Okay. So are you teaching that now? To give a man a fish.
I could teach more. I could teach more. Yes, I could.
That's what we're talking about, the doing.
I could teach more.
I don't see how what Lou's saying is a disagreeable point. Knowledge is free. That's what he's saying.
It's not that it's disagreeable.
But again,
it's not that it's disagreed with.
It's the doing, the actions. What are the actions? This is the paramount epitome of give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But when you take the right actions, he can then take upon those actions himself.
He knows how to do the things.
Right. It's experience. Is he going to pass on the experience?
We love you,
Mr. Talcott has now lapsed into full-on prayer to a higher power, which is good. He's coming out of his catatonic state into a state of what might be spiritual ecstasy at some point, if he can get through the pain. Right?
I get through this, baby.
Rub the knees for a little, Jack.
Okay, well, you came out of it just in time for this creature who needs you again.
I want you to stop the war right now. And damn it, Dusty left. Dusty, come back up here. We need Jack to stop the Paul and Dusty war. So you should get.
Okay, Snafu, we're gonna try to help you out again, as in Pack and Jack in a merged state. Only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can end the war within, Snafu. Just like with Dusty and Margot and Tommy and Fat Paul and so many others online, right? Who just cycle and spin in a state of aggression and bitterness and resentment, clutching and desiring and only undoing themselves and causing more suffering for themselves and others.
I'm finding patience might be the only way.
Since you guys wanted to decline the maybe baby AI thing, I was going to recommend have Dusty come back up here. Jack give Dusty a set of the keys too, and then let Paul and Dusty and Jack stop this.
Jack can of course do whatever he wishes. I don't think he can give out more than one set of keys, and I have a feeling, Snafu, that the reason you want that is because you think it will lead to more entertainment for you and others through false non-petitions, and online fighting, non-fighting, and all the rest of it, right? So we're not going to enable that chaos creation, right? And that energy of challenge and resistance. I don't suspect.
Not yet.
Not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at
There's
this
still
point.
more work to do here, right? That we haven't explored this experience as much as we might have been able to, right? And you're part of the reason for that, because you're almost a constant, consistent distraction and detraction.
So
Dude,
Jack
that's
doesn't want to stop the war between you and Dusty, and you're afraid to do
no,
it.
that's
No,
not
that's what I
true.
hear. Nope, it's
That's
fine. You just did not.
what if you're hearing wrong, dude? Golly jeez. Here, bring him up. Snafu.
No, I heard
Serious.
it right. We offered a
No,
chance for you to stop Dusty
I
and Paul,
know. I
and the only
know.
way is to
I
give
know.
Dusty a set of keys. That way,
I
Paul
know.
and Dusty are on equal
I
ground,
know.
and
I
then
know.
to let them.
I
Snafu,
heard
this
you.
is why Jack and Pack are a life coach entity and you're not. Because you perceive that somehow today there's a war with me and Dusty. No, Dusty has to put down the non-petition competition he's had with me since the day he met me and got jealous and envious and decided to be inspired by me to go create a channel and do half his material about me and maybe make a few bucks doing it. Okay. He's got to put that down. Daddy inspired him and so many others. That's okay. Right. We're sharing in love and unity and co-creation. And it doesn't have to be the whole I'm going to overtake daddy to show that I run the house idea. We don't have to do that. Right? We can both be thankful and grateful and blessed in our own areas with our own content, non-tent, and our own way of beingness, right? Live and let live. That would be the most loving
Snafu.
thing we could do for ourselves and each other. I mean, real quick, Jack, if you'll allow me, because out of a space of love and care or just truth, right? Because it's hard for me at times to summon love and care beyond a certain point. Taylor, every time I see him, like today, he's chain smoking. He smoked 3 cigarettes in 20 minutes. He didn't stop pulling and puffing while he's shaking and spinning in that chair, right? It's obvious that he's in a state where he's lacking peace. It's probably because he's lacking in love. Right. So if I see a man who's spinning in his chair and tapping his foot and bouncing all over the place and chain smoking, he's probably in an agitated state. He probably needs love and care and a little bit of help. And unfortunately, he doesn't. We all do. Right. Jack, trust me, all criticism is self-criticism to an extent. I could only know him by knowing self. Right. Because self is self on a certain level. I'm just saying what I witnessed and what I noticed and what it led to and what the result usually is, right? I don't think I was doing that today or recently here. I think I've had a
suspect
renewed purpose.
Taylor.
Lou, please.
Sorry, I thought
This
you were
isn't
done,
about you.
asshole.
This isn't about you. No, but you're not. See, again, part of being conscious and aware, I want you to use Jack as a totem from now on. Okay? And I know a lot of you are going to say we're enabling his covert narcissism. Maybe he is, maybe I am, whatever, right? Get away from that, because what we're going to do is use all things like God would, right, for our betterment and beneficent purposes. So just watch Jack, use it as your practice for being conscious and aware, and then you'll start to notice when you should start to speak more and speak less. Okay, so you'll be not pleasing Jack and adding to the broadcast. You'll be growing in your conscious awareness, Lou, and that's the most loving thing that we can do for ourselves and each other, because without that we can't find true care and true love. We're too busy being ignorant, arrogant, unconscious, and unaware. The
Just
ego.
wanted to say that I think Taylor is in a state of fear more so than anything else.
Absolutely, that's always the cornerstone, right? Just like Christ is the stone the builders rejected, the philosopher's stone, the cornerstone. On the light side, on the dark side, it's always fear that leads to the agitation, that leads to the coping mechanisms, right? Whether the coping mechanisms are cigarettes and shaking and bouncing, or going to war and proclaiming yourself the victor, even if you're losing. They're all various forms of coping mechanism for what we're lacking at the core. That's why he's here. Jack said it many times. There's something bigger going on here. Brothers and sisters, we have a great opportunity to share in the love and surrender to that which is. And I'm going to do everything that I can to manifest that reality verbally, if not physically here, to the best of my ability. Praise God.
It's
Zach,
happening.
can I rub your knees for a little bit?
Start on your own first.
Oh, I'm doing that already.
When you manifest that non-sexual orgasm,
Oh,
then maybe you
Whoa.
can touch me.
Whoa. Let's just, please, more. Jack, please let us know.
Oh,
Teach us, oh master.
no, there's
I have
there
been
are,
shown that we cannot teach, we can only show, right? And
there
I
you
don't think
go.
there's anything that can be shown that is more inspiring and loving than this picture of Jack and Paul in 20 years. Uh,
I know,
Sipping on
man.
cocktails, living in love, man. And you can call us gay and weird and all the rest of it. We don't mind, right? Because when you're
No,
conscious and aware and also living in love, how could
dude.
there be a problem? Right?
Right.
The
There's no
button-up
problem.
shirts. The button-up shirts. That's what gets me, man. The
Well,
button-up
20 years from
shirts.
now, we're going to be given diplomatic status for certain
Oh yeah.
nations, right? And at that point, we're kind of not high on the hog, but kind of living how we deserve to be living, how it probably should have been all along, right? I mean, there is a
Right.
place in the kingdom of heaven for inspiring, motivating, loving people. We want to believe, right? We're having faith in that.
Well, as soon as the ash clears in the next, 60 years, I think we can get there.
Wait, I'm confused. So, Jack, this question is for you. Paul's going to probably
He's
most
starting
likely
off
answer it
well.
for you. But now I said, now obviously you're not a mediator. Are you the JD Vance or are you the hot Yahoo fucking fucker? Because obviously I said there's a war between Paul and Dusty, and Paul put his diatribe narrative out, spoke for you, showed how you guys are aged in 20 years. So you are not a mediator. You actually are trying to convert Dusty into Paul Claudia. Like, because they're obviously you're not trying to mediate the war, you're trying to convert.
Do you think there's a distinction?
So everything he said about Dusty, you agree with. Everything he said about him using the jet, but I just want to know. I just need to know. I'm curious if everything Paul said is what you agree with.
Don't try to narrow me down.
No, that's a simple
Everything Paul
question.
said is
Paul
what Jack
spoke for
agreed
you,
with.
so I want to know: do you agree with everything he said?
You'll never know if you don't listen. God, I love you, but you really test my patience.
Well, no, Paul spoke for you about
I
Dusty
heard
and
you. I
the
heard.
optics. So if
I
that's
know.
what you agree with, then that's fine. I'm just okay. Well, then that's
What I agree with is what I say. And what I say is what I stand for, right? What I stand for is
reform. Not you. Paul said.
I don't know.
Paul said a lot for you. You didn't say much.
And I appreciate it.
So you agree with what he said then? How Dusty used the channel, the whole thing.
The part about I think that flow state would be better named fear state, and that a lot of his behavior is evidence of certain aspects of the core of his beingness, and that the only way we could know that is by looking into ourselves, right, and then reconciling that.
I have a different perspective. I actually don't think he's scared. I think he's a psychopath and he has sadistic envy.
Okay.
And he loves the conflict. I mean, he
That's
needs it.
often a consequence of fear.
All right.
He
Or a
literally
result
needs
of
it to
fear.
survive. It's why he's always, making videos about people and attacking them and trying to show how lame they are when he's literally the king of Voight.
Well, is this how you feel, Jack? I mean, I hear what Kim's saying, I hear what Lou's saying, I hear what Paul's saying. Is that how you feel? You've heard my stance on all you fucktards.
Well, I agree. I don't actually think he's not consciously operating from fear. He's got some insecurities that are well hidden. He presents himself very well, but the reality is there's been energetic battles between Paul and Dusty and
right,
me.
and you refused to stop that war. You had a chance to stop the war.
I have not refused. I have failed. Accept that.
No, you have not failed, because it's not your responsibility and obligation to bring two parties to a state of true care and peace within themselves. The individuated parties have to make that choice for themselves. And based on our behavior today, in the now, that story has been told, right? He is shaking and clutching and grasping and chain smoking. I am rather lovingly and caringly here peacefully, co-creating, managing the backstage, the chat, putting links down, bringing people up. I'm doing the best I can from a state of true care here. So
You are.
again, the war is cosmic, and it's between the truth and a deception or a lie. Right? That is, if you want to call it a war, that is the complementary makings of the full experience we call Earth Inc. Right? In this universe. So you'll have to make your determination on who's who and what's what in this scenario. As you will everywhere, right? In life, as the audience, right? You will have to make the determination.
That's what we are. Evidence
who
of
and what
life.
the truth is. Yes.
It's a mystery. I'm feeling those energies. We're nearing that 3-hour mark again, too.
Fuck, I missed the whole show almost, damn it.
Good chunk of it.
I'm feeling you are not a mediator, but you have merged. You should just say no. I'm with Paul, and I'm choosing Paul's side with the war, like Ukraine versus you're like Ukraine here in this situation, right?
No.
Yeah,
No.
you and Paul have become Ukraine in a sense.
What? No, dude.
I feel so. Instead of being a
You
mediator,
also brought us
like,
back to the past, right? And I allowed myself to entertain it, but you brought us out of the now and back to the past. It was already solved and mediated in the now.
Yeah.
Because Taylor left to go pursue other energies and experiences. And we were left with what we came in this with.
Okay, you explained it to Jack. Jack didn't understand it. This is where Jack's not getting it. He is not.
You're doing the thing.
That's
you.
There's no
now I gotta even go over here, and I gotta deploy my button.
You're dropping nukes, Jack.
That's you. You're now projecting. Okay, I think we're done with you. Yeah. If not for a lifetime, definitely for the rest of this broadcast, because I think we're moving in that direction. Snafu, you want to give us a final word? I'll allow that if Mr. Talcott doesn't have any objections. But your power games, your cycling, your spinning, your mischief, it's old, right? You're obviously just trying to pit people against other people and watch the wreckage. It's what a lot of you do on here. You get off on that. You don't do it in real life because it gets you like, well, we're not going to go there. You don't do it in life because you're cowardly, but you like to do it on the internet, right? Tell a bunch of lies, talk a bunch of shit, pit people against each other, and then watch the wreckage, right?
Yep.
Like a bunch of mean girls. We should write a series, Mean Girls, for all the supposed kings of the panelverse, right? Go ahead, Snafu.
Sure. I want Jack and you to merge your funds together and lovingly help me get a clutch in my car. And that would be godly of both you men, like almost the two messengers, you know.
It's always about you, Snafu.
I did that. I interrupted him. I might give him a chance at the very end, but let's not. Good. Actually, yeah. Let's keep going, please.
So with that, Jack, I'll go ahead and get out. I just want to remind everybody, Psalm 64, don't just read it, study it. It's talking about how we're supposed to treat people. We're not supposed to be using bitter words. And that when they come up with bitter words in judgment, Isaiah 54:17 starts out with, no weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and you shall rise up against anyone that places judgment against you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me. So again, like Jack says, truth needs no defense. I've known that for a long time. They want to lay their lies. Let them lay their lies. Their lies are laid with a rope that will trip them up. And anybody that wants to follow those lies, that rope is long enough. It includes all of them. Be blessed.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Lou?
Okay, staying true to form, Jack, I must say, as far as Snafu goes, it's like a man manically masturbating but never achieving orgasm. That's Snafu, as far as I'm concerned. Good night.
Pretty sure I gave Lou a rule yesterday, never to mention masturbation ever again. And
you said that?
Yeah, and you didn't follow it. So you creeped out the whole audience at the end of the broadcast. Thank you for sharing, Lou.
Thank you, Lou.
No more masturbation.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Bye.
Try to think of genitals of others less. Okay, think of other people's genitals less, and I think your day might go better, Lou.
But it's night here. Okay. I'll think of your genitals less, Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah, great advice, Mr. Talcott. This is why he's a life coach and gets the big bucks. Try to find your own genitals instead of thinking about other people's genitals. Okay, folks, ask not what Jack Talcott can do for you. Ask what you can do for Jack Talcott, or more importantly, what Jack Talcott is bringing here and representing. Okay, it'll not only benefit you potentially in yourself and in your life, but maybe even benefit others. So, with that, I will leave you. Blessings to everybody. Peace and love is available.
It's a true honor and a pleasure, and thank you. Thank you for showing up, running the backstage, dropping the links, keeping things moving. I realized that as you were saying it, maybe I've been sitting on my ass and really just enjoying having you here with me, Paul. There's been a lot of positive results. I've enjoyed it. Thank you again, sincerely. I appreciate you, brother.
Sure thing, Mr. Talcott. God of all media out.
Respect. And brothers and sisters, those of you who stuck around for the end, just a reminder from the beginning, keep learning to be strong while remembering to be with gentleness, with kindness, right? Remembering life is about the freedoms of balance, the freedoms of progress. And without attention and care, you lose balance, you lose progress, and that stuff just fades away into the chaos. We had momentary chaos. I want to really think we've had some amazing folks showing up again, and the contributions and the support are always grateful. I am going to wrap it up. I don't have it scheduled yet, and shame on me, but we do have a guest scheduled for tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Eastern time. A young lady with an incredible story, a great collection of wisdom, and a path of faith that, stood out to me, something I admire. So I hope folks will return again tomorrow or in the future. We'll see what that brings. Till next time, thank you again, sincerely, from me to you. Shout out again to Proper Instruction, Motivates People, all the folks who swung through. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless. Peace.